down a little bit more. Why ask about the MSRP? This question is from TikTok. You need to know the MSRP for several reasons. If you're leasing, you need to know what percentage are you paying relative to the MSRP, because the 1% lease rule has always been based off the MSRP. If you got a lease payment and it was 1% of the MSRP, like $40,000 is the MSRP, your lease payment is $400 or less, then you basically stole a vehicle. And that rule has been around since the beginning of time. So when it comes to purchasing a used car, you need to know the MSRP, because how do you know how much you're saving if you don't know the original MSRP? How do you know how much you're saving? For instance, I bought a pre-owned Infinity truck a little over a year ago. I paid 31 and change. I knew that the original MSRP was 54,545. Without knowing the MSRP, I wouldn't know how much I was saving off the original. And that's the only thing that's really important when you are shopping for a used car and you're trying to make sure you're getting a great price. There's other things you got to be concerned. There's two main things when you're buying a used car. Got to make sure you're getting a great car. You need a quality vehicle. That has nothing to do with price. Then the second thing is you got to make sure you're getting a below market deal and make sure you're paying a great price for it, in which case you must know the MSRP. Great question. Great question. All right, we got Dolan. Dolan will be bringing in questions from all platforms. We're live on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So just start typing your questions, and we're going to get to as many as we can in the hour. And, if you have a follow-up question, I'm just going to try to blitz through. So you can certainly throw up the next question whenever you're ready, Dolan. I'm 8K under. My credit is challenged. My car is in danger of getting repossessed. What do I do? All right. This one's also from TikTok. I'm 8K under. What do you mean 8K under? I'm probably underwater. I'm going to assume that means you're underwater. Negative equity. If that's the case, then what you want to do is you want to get the. So you're at negative equity, but then you're also behind on payments. I mean, you got to catch up on the payments. I mean, you could try to refinance. You're going to have a hard time. Negative equity, you can't sell it. If you had positive equity, you could sell it. You gotta make money. It's grind time. Like there's certain things in life where we have bills, and the only situation we can do is pray and go and make money. Without money and bills, anyone's going to, this is a hardship, but this is without money or somebody to help you. I can't think of anything. You have a payment due. So, the best thing you could do right now is to focus on how you can make some money so that you can pay the car. Negative equity isn't the biggest problem. The biggest problem is the car is in danger of being repossessed. If the car gets repossessed, now you got to start over. It's not the end of the world, but you're certainly going to have to start over, because you're going to have a repossession on your credit, and you're going to have to buy a car with bad credit. I would be trying to rebuild my credit. That's what I would be trying to do. Make money, and if the car gets taken, you got to start rebuilding your credit. Follow Shonda Martin. She's a great resource on all these platforms. And but yeah, man, money answers all things. Book of Ecclesiastes. So figure out how to make some money, man. Work overtime, double shift, second job, start a business on the side. As long as it does, you got to make some money. Can't make car payments without money. So go ahead, Dolan. Wish you the best, man. Keep me posted. This one's from Instagram. On a 3-year-old used car, what percentage from original MSRP should I be looking at for a price point? It goes by comparison. You should be comparing. Without something to compare it to, you won't be able to see the actual, what the discount should be. You need something to compare it to. We do these live shows. We got a couple hundred people on here already. The goal is to figure out through comparison shopping what you should be doing and what you should be paying. Hold on one second, y'all. Yeah, so that's the goal. You don't know what a fair price is, what a great discount is, until you are not, until you have other offers to compare it to. That's the problem. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next question up. Like, I didn't know that 42% off my Infinity that I got was a great discount until I compared it to the others. I narrowed it down to 4 choices, and then 3 of them were not as big of a discount. And, one of them was, most of them were in the 30s. This particular one was a 42% discount off the original MSRP. Go ahead, Dolan. Oh, this one's TikTok. How do I get the lease rate down? You always, listen, the only way you're going to get a great lease deal is by comparison offers. You got to get at least 5 offers because 80% of dealers are overpriced. And the only way you're going to see that is by looking at other offers. See, most of the questions y'all are going to find out have to do with you shopping for cars the way you shop for other things in life. You shop for everything else. When we get great deals, it's comparisons. Everything we do is a comparison. Now, the only way you have price assurance is through comparison and knowing. If somebody tells you, we guarantee no one will beat our price, or hey, Walmart says you could buy this item and if you find it at a lower price, we'll match it or we'll beat it. See, that's price assurance. That's comparison. That gives you peace of mind of knowing I'm not overpaying. And the only way for you to bring that same piece, the reason why we're able to, and for those of you, if this is your first time on a live with us, type 1. If you've never been on a live stream with me, type a 1 in the chat. See how many first time people we got. How many people first time? What y'all are going to see is what I'm teaching you to do is shop for cars the way you shop for everything else. Because the way you shop for cars now, you don't shop for anything else like that. Okay, Ronnie, I see you, Stoner Kid. Okay. I see you, Amelia. Okay, Batman, good to see you. Edgar. Okay, Paul, we got a lot of first-time people on here. So what you want to do is start shopping for cars the way you shop for everything else. And we get great deals by comparing offers. Now, some of the people I'm going to introduce you to and the way they've gotten their deals is by using what I'm teaching you. Everything that I teach comes out of my new digital book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. So in that, I have 2 systems for how we comparison shop. One's for new cars and leases. You got to get at least 5 offers. And some of you are like, Deshone, how do I get 5 offers? Well, you stay on. We're going to talk about that. It's easy to do when it's online, but you won't see how different the prices are. When you see, man, everything seems overpriced, it's because you're dealing with what I call the 80%. Dealers that are the 80% are overpriced. They're going to charge you as much as they can because they don't think you're going to find the 20% dealers that are going to beat those offers. So when you talk about how to get a lease rate down, like you look at somebody like Danielle. This is Danielle's lease. She just got a lease on an Audi not too long ago. $44,000 vehicle. She paid $550, no money out of pocket. She just gave him $550, drove off. No down payment. So a lot of the things you're going to see, this is the reason why I represent the Unlearn, Relearn brand. Because a lot of what you've been using, you got to unlearn. It's not going to work here. But I'll help you do that. So for the launch of my new book, you can get yours for 75% off in my TikTok bio. It's normally $97. It's 75% off while we're on the broadcast. You got 30 minutes. And Instagram bio, you can get yours. And if you're on YouTube and if you're on Facebook, I'll put the link for you guys. Y'all can get yours. But that's how you get lease rates down. Comparison offers. Making people bid for your business. Stop negotiating, guys, and start making people bid. We'll talk more about that. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next question up. We're taking questions from all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And could everybody who shares invite somebody? If you're a sharer, I appreciate it. I always give, we're trying to figure out something special we could do for the sharers because there's nothing, I told y'all, inbox me. If you got ideas, what could we do to reward or come up with something for the sharers? Because you guys are the people who help us spread this message. I appreciate all the new people, but I want to do something special for the sharers. Please DM me ideas of what we can do because we want to make it a regular part of our broadcast. All right, I see you, Sharice. Thank you. All right, go ahead. This one's from TikTok. Can you ask for additional discounts since you're an educator? See, the problem is if there's a rebate, then you'll get it when you reveal it. If there's a first responder rebate, you can't depend on a dealer to tell you about it. Some of the 80% won't tell you about it. Some of the 80% won't give you the whole thing. If it's a $1,000 rebate, maybe they'll tell you it's 500. We don't trust the 80%. When I was in the dealerships, I saw how the 80% moved. The 20% are the people those are the people you have to find. It's not, you can't just walk in. You don't, unfortunately, there's 17,000 new car dealers in this country. They don't have labels on them. There's not one that say, we're the 20% that beats everyone. You have to find them, and you need a great a bidding system. You can do it manually by phone, or you can do it my way by email, copy and paste. So, but you're not going to, it's like people who said, well, I have a GM, I get a special price with Ford. I get a special price with General Motors. You can't depend on the dealer you're dealing with to tell you the special price and to tell you the rebates if they have them. The only way you're going to see it is by getting at least 5 offers, and then you'll be able to reveal who gave you the real offer. It's unfortunate, but it's actually better for you, because who's not a good negotiator? Type not me if you are not a good negotiator. Just speaking honestly, you're not a good negotiator. It's not your thing. I consider myself to be pretty good, and I won't do it. All right, Danny said not me. Okay. Rai, sorry, I butchered your name. Lovey, okay. This is going to work for everyone who's not a good negotiator. Now, I am a good negotiator, but I won't shop that way. I'm always going to get bids, because if you're negotiating with the 80%, they're so overpriced. Even when they drop down a couple $1,000s, you're still overpaying. That's the whole point. That's why it's best for you to sit at home where you're in control. You can use my way, which is email. We copy and paste. I have a strategy in my book. It's called 25 to 5, where you're going to connect with 25 new car dealers. This is only for buying and leasing new cars. This is not for used cars. I have a different strategy for that. But you're going to sit at home. You're going to connect with 25 dealers online in about 20 minutes. And that's going to get you 5 offers using my scripts, using my replies. Now, the manual way to do it is to pick up the phone, call, and speak to at least 5 sales managers. But you need to get 5 offers. That's the only way you're going to see how much money that the 80% we're trying to overcharge you. Does that make sense? And it goes with the same thing with military discounts. Doesn't matter. Special pricing, employee pricing. You must shop multiple offers, because you can't trust the 80% to actually give you the real numbers. All right. Go ahead, Dolan. Bring the next one in. We're taking questions from all platforms. Did I post that link? The book is not good for used car. Absolutely. That's just my system. You're going to hear me talk about 2 systems of shopping multiple offers and options. One's for new cars and leases. That's called the 25 to 5. One's for used cars. That's called the multiple marketplace strategy. When we shop for used cars, we have a different strategy. You must shop for your best used car offer in a different way than your new cars. It's very different. They're both in my book. Y'all will hear me talk about them on my videos, on my social media videos if you've seen them, and you'll hear me talking about them on the live. 2 totally different shopping strategies based on your goal. All right, this one's from Instagram. When you walk into a dealership, the salesman comes at you right away. Can you tell him you're just looking for now, and I'll come get you when I see something? Of course you can. So using what I'm telling you, you should not spend more than 30 minutes in a car dealership ever. Tons of people that you'll see, the more you stick around this broadcast and the more you learn and the more you see our community over here. We've been doing this for 3 years, teaching the public. We've got 1,700 people we've worked with personally, a couple thousand books. People are using this stuff. It's not just the saving of money, it's time. You shouldn't be in a dealership if you're not there to test drive, or if you're not, see, We have something we call shopping, not buying. Very different. That's actually step 4 in my book. There's 7 steps. The last step is delivery. Step 4 is something I call shopping, not buying. You have to learn, if you're going to enjoy shopping and take control of your car deals the way I want you to, that when you are shopping, you are deciding what you want. That's shopping, deciding what you want. You can get your copy of the book in my TikTok bio. Everybody got 30 minutes to get it for 75% off. Somebody on TikTok said, how do I get the book? It's in my TikTok bio. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can scan the QR code, or you can go to deshonesbook.com. If you're on Instagram, you can go to my Instagram bio. It's normally $97, but it's part of our official launch. You can get yours for 75% off. So when you are there with a purpose, which means no one can actually talk you into something because you're clear on what you're here for. I'm here to see what I like. I'm here to decide what I want. I got my kids with me. I'm here to see how this vehicle is it comfortable? This is only for new cars and leases. We don't test drive used cars until the end. That's a different thing. And I'm answering questions specifically. So when someone asks about a used car test drive, we'll talk about that. For those of you who are leasing and buying new cars, we are there to test drive and decide what we want. That is it. We do not talk numbers in the dealership. Listen, I want y'all to remember this. You will never, using what I'm telling you, you will never talk numbers in the dealership. If you are coming there to see a used car, the deal is made already before you get there. Your numbers, everything should be established online. That's the multiple marketplace. There's a very simple process that you can follow for shopping for used cars. By the time you walk in the deal, who's ever had a dealership that they had to walk out of? If you've ever had a dealership where you had to walk out of, type me if you've ever walked out. Somebody wasted your time. Somebody tried to, whatever. You went there and you're like, man, I'm leaving. This isn't good. I'm glad you did that, but I want you to get to the point where no one can even waste your time. That's what I want you to get to, which means every time you walk in the dealership, for a used car, the deal is made. You're just there to test drive it, verify everything you did online. We'll talk about this. And then you're taking the car, or you're locking up that deal, not taking it because, you're locking up the deal. Now with a new car, you are there to test drive only. I'm deciding what I want, and look, you got to be able to ignore this. Let this stuff go. Hey, can I talk to you? Hey, let me just show you these numbers. Hey, we got some real good deals this month. Hey, you know what? Have you seen the specials? Hey, we got a special price. Hey, we're taking off Hey, we're paying over $2,000 for people's trading. Hey, we're buying old leases back. All of this stuff, it got to just be, that junk got to go using what I'm teaching, because that stuff works for other people. It probably has worked on you in the past. Now, you're not going to let people throw you off this agenda anymore. You are literally there to shop, decide what you want, and when you take the salesperson's card, when you come home, if you like that vehicle, we will be purchasing it and getting multiple offers from home, never in the dealership. Everybody clear? If you're clear on that so far, type clear. Everybody clear on that? Clear? All right, I see you, Dave. Yep, I see you, Danny. All right, go ahead. This one's from Facebook. Carla said, my granddaughter purchased her first car in November 2023. She wanted to lease, but was told she was too young. She's 20. How can she transition from a current car note to a lease car when she turns 21 next year? Great question. Who has a car that they're thinking of replacing? You have a car now. You're thinking about replacing that car. Could be a lease, and you have to replace it. Could be a car you own. Could be a car you're financing. So the first step in my book, it's called 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Car shopping for people that hate car shopping. First step is the most important question. We must know whether we're going to lease or buy. You have to see that as the foundation of your car deals. You cannot get a great deal when you should have leased, but you bought. It is impossible. You can't get a great deal if you should have bought, but you leased. So that's the most important question. That's step 1. How many years are we keeping the car? Now, after that, here's what you do. you guys who have a car you have to replace, including this young lady, Carla, she asked, you must do an equity assessment. This is step 2. Equity assessment is going to tell you, can you get out of your car clean? Can you get out of your car break even? Can you get out of your car and there's equity there, which means you can put that equity in your pocket or into the next transaction? Or do you have negative equity if you have a loan? So the equity assessment is going to tell you. Now, here's how you do it. You're going to call your bank. If you have a paid off car, you do not need to do this step. You can skip this step. If you have a loan or a lease, you're going to call your bank. You're going to ask for the payoff. I see y'all running the likes up on TikTok too. I appreciate it. Can y'all keep tapping the screen? I appreciate y'all running those likes up. When you call, you're going to ask them for the payoff. The payoff is the amount you owe. Do not look at your contract. Do not look at anything. Call the bank or call the leasing company and say, what is my payoff? Now, if you're leasing, you're going to ask an additional question. Do I have a third-party restriction? Once you have those answers, you end the call. You are then going to go on to the websites that I'm about to mention. You're going to get 6 bids, 6 offers. My 2 favorite words when buying anything. And if you like to save money, these will become your 2 favorite words. Multiple offers. Multiple offers. I love those words. That's how you buy everything else. Multiple offers, multiple options. That's how we save the big money. So you're going to go to carmax.com. This will take you about 20 minutes to do an equity assessment. You're going to go to driveway.com. You're going to go to AutoNation, Sell My Car, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book, Instant Cash Offer, and Car Guru, Sell My Car. As more people buy cars, we'll keep adding them to our list. Those people are in my book. That's who we get our equity assessment from, because here's what your car is worth, what people are willing to offer you cash for. What's the one word? Some of you have been, hold on, don't bring in the next question until I get you the road, because some of these I got to go a little deep on, Dolan. But you could queue them up. Just get them ready so that, you know, when I call them out, you got them ready. I know you're stacking them. When you look at, getting 6 offers, what's the one word that we don't use anymore? Let's see if anybody was on here. Maybe you were on here for the last couple broadcasts, or a lot of you are new, so you may not know. What's the one word? Good to see you start back up. What's the word that we're not using anymore? And for the new people, you're about to learn. We don't use, let me see if anybody got it. I give it about 3-4 seconds. Okay, everybody's about to learn this for the first time. We don't use the word trade. You don't get maximum money trading anything. I know you've been taught that because dealers have actually taught you to give them multiple transactions in one. You buy your car from them, that's one transaction. You sell your car to them, that's another transaction. And if you get your loan from them, that's a third transaction. All of these are separate transactions. And how big is the money in them? I'll break it down to you like this. You can actually there are companies that only want to lend you money. They don't sell cars. That's how much money is in loans. There's companies and people who just want to buy your car. They don't want to sell your car. That's how much money is in buying cars. So somebody just said trading is convenient, though. If you want to conveniently lose $2,000 or $3,000 because you want to save 30 minutes, then be my guest. I'm talking to the people who are like, Deshone, that's not my thing. And I'm not talking about a private party sale. We're not talking about listing the car on Facebook. We're talking about going to people. All those companies I just named, they literally have a short inspection process and they cut you a check. I sold my lease to CarMax. They won the bid 2 years ago. I walked out with a check. I was there for 45 minutes. Then I brought my parents down because they won the bid for their Mazda. They taught you that, oh, anything else besides what we're telling you to do is going to be hard. Like, oh, you might as well just give us all the business because, anything else is going to be just hard. Meanwhile, what you're putting yourself through is hard. So that's how you do the equity assessment. Now, if you do have a lease, when you go on those websites, there's a question there. It's going to say, is the car owned, financed, or leased? You want to put owned because you just want the true value. And when you put lease, it triggers something on their websites. Don't worry about that. If you don't have a third-party restriction, you can sell direct to anyone. If you have a third-party restriction, you're going to take those offers, and then we're going to call used car managers, because the third-party restriction does not say you can't sell. It says you must sell to a brand of the same dealer, a dealer of the same brand. So if you have a Nissan, you must sell to a Nissan dealer. Here's what that doesn't mean. Go walk into one Nissan dealer. We get bids, we speak to at least 3 to 5 used car managers, we get bids. Are y'all starting to get the sense that everything we do is a bid? And the only way you're going to see how much money you've been losing by not getting multiple offers is to get multiple offers. Everyone I've been working with says, Deshone, there's no way that I would have known how much money was in these car transactions until I started getting multiple offers from home. We don't do this by getting in our car and driving from place to place. We do this by sitting at home and using what online tools have already existed for the last 5-6 years. All right, go ahead, Dolan, bring the next one in. Welcome to all the new people. Everything that we're talking about is in my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. As part of our launch, you can get yours for 75% off. It's normally $97. You got 30 minutes. As part of our welcome offer, get your book. It's in my TikTok bio. It's in my Instagram bio. Click that website before 30 minutes is up and get your book for $24 instead of $97. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you guys could just click that link that I posted there, deshonsbook.com, or you can scan the QR code. This one's YouTube. Is it best to shop online for a car or go in person to a dealership? You can't do what I'm telling you to do in person. If you're tired of spending the time in dealerships, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and this is 100% God's honest truth. I have not spent more than an hour on a car transaction. I have not spent more than an hour in a car dealership in over 10 years. I've leased since 2015. I got my Infiniti lease then. I leased 2 Infinitis prior to that. I've leased 2 Infinitis. I've leased a Jeep, and I bought this Infiniti truck. I have not spent more than an hour in a car dealership, and my payments are under 1% leases, 42% off the original price on my used car. You don't need, the internet exists. Do you need to walk into the shop that sells TVs and spend an hour there to get a great deal on a TV in 2024? We got a bunch of smart people on here. Do any of you think that you would get your best price on a TV by going into a store that sells TVs? Anybody on here? In 2024, do you think that? No. We got a bunch of no's. So we understand that when we're buying these items out here, we're never getting our best price by going to the store. We're getting our best price by using the internet as it's meant to be used for comparison shopping and to keep you in control. So great question. Absolutely. No, if you ever talk to somebody and they say they learned from me and they spent more than an hour in a dealership, really, I want to get you to the point where you're 30 minutes. You'll probably be an hour at first, but even if you'll probably be 30 minutes because you're there to test drive or you're there to pick up your car because the deal was made online. It's no reason for me to be here for an hour. Only time I'm there for an hour, only time they got you there for an hour is when you're sitting down letting them talk numbers to you. It's the only time. That's the only time. Thanks for everybody who's giving gifts. I appreciate you supporting the broadcast, and shout out to the sharers. What Instagram allows you to do is Instagram, you can hit that share button and you can share, just run down the list of your friends, invite one friend over here. Because I'm telling you, people going to be mad at you. I don't want to break up friendships, y'all. When your friends find out you've been getting this information, using it, saving thousands of dollars, not spending time, and then they go out here and they shopping the old way, and you didn't invite them to the broadcast, what they going to think about that? Come on. I don't want to damage any friendship. So make sure you're doing your friends the justice of inviting them to the broadcast. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next question in. All right. And we're taking questions from all 4 platforms. So just keep typing them. We'll get through as many as we can in the hour. Erica, this one's from YouTube. I purchased a used vehicle from the dealership, and 2 weeks later they called me and asked me to bring it back because the previous owner wanted it back. Can they do that? Mm, mm, that's a nightmare. Mm. Y'all hear that question? Erica purchased a used vehicle. 2 weeks later, they called, asked to bring the car back because the previous owner wanted it back. So it's less about your transaction, and it's more about if the transaction with the original owner was legally closed. If they left the transaction open, now if I'm you, do you have your paperwork? You have all your loan? And here's the most important thing. Has the loan been funded? Is there a new loan attached to that vehicle under your name? Are they in the process of registering that vehicle under your name? Now, here's where you could be dealing with the crap that the 80% of dealers who are scumbags. This is what they do sometimes. They'll take a car from a customer. They're waiting for the title. They technically don't have the legal right. They have the legal right to sell the car, but there's a loophole there probably because they haven't gotten the title from the owner. And if the owner comes in and says, you know what, I changed my mind, and the owner's holding the title. But what I would do if I'm you, somebody got to call me. I want to look at your paperwork. If you have a loan, Erica, whatever bank you're going through, I would call them, and I would call if the bank knows you and they've established an account number for you, and they're like, yes, Miss Maxwell, we know you, then I'm holding on to the car until somebody comes and pries it from my hands because I have a legal right to this car. There's a loan under my name. You have my money. You have started this process. If none of that's in place, then, and it sounds like, it sounds like you dealt with a scumbag dealership, but that's what I would do. I'm not just giving up the car because you said, oh, the owner wants it back. The old owner wants it. That's not my problem. You made a deal with me. I have paperwork that is binding. And, you work that out with the owner. Because that happens sometimes. Dealers do some crappy stuff, or dealers don't cross their T's, dot their I's, and then and then the owner comes in, the original owner who traded the car. That ain't got nothing to do with who you sold that car to. That car is on the road and there's a loan attached to it, or there's been cash paid for it. Now I'm holding on to this car until you legally show me that I need to release this car. And I might call a lawyer and see, can I get some damages out of this? Like, this is just, God, the 80%, we got to put them out of business. And the only way you get these wolves out of business, y'all, is you got to starve them. I'm telling you, the more people that shop online, when you learn how to shop online the right way, people like this won't be able to exist. But because most people are still going in the old way shopping, giving them a chance to do this, keep me posted, Erica. It sounds like it's a terrible situation, but please keep me posted on that. Go ahead, shoot the next one in, Dolan. This one's from TikTok. What's the best practice for buying a car after bankruptcy? If the bankruptcy's been discharged, start rebuilding your credit. I've seen people who went through a bankruptcy. Once it was discharged, they started building credit immediately, and they were up to a 700 score in a year. So, it's the key is not to come out of bankruptcy and start buying stuff. The key is come out of bankruptcy and start rebuilding your credit, because if you can do it relatively quickly. Everyone should be following Shonda Martin. Some of you may know her. She's all over all these platforms. She does what I do, but she does it for credit. She'll do lives. The girl is brilliant, and I tell everybody about her. But that's the whole thing. You should be rebuilding your credit. You can do it quick. Get yourself up to a high 600-700 score, and then go and get a car. That's what I do. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one in. It's another one from TikTok. How do you feel about buying a car with a credit card? I don't. Credit cards are 20-something% interest. I don't carry a balance on my credit cards. Shonda doesn't recommend carrying a balance on her credit cards because the interest is exorbitant, and we would never buy a car with a credit card under any circumstances. Instagram. How do I keep my credit score from taking a hit each time I shop for a vehicle? Okay, good question. Let's go into detail on something I call the bank bidding war. Okay, this is something that I'm sure, unless you guys have been on here before, you've probably never heard. So you heard me say everything is a bid, right? So the same way we make dealers bid for who wins our business, who's going to sell us a car, same way we make the companies bid on who's going to buy our car, that's the same way we make banks and credit unions bid. 1 point on an interest rate on a $30,000 loan could be $1,000. So we're looking, so we take interest, we take shopping for car loans as serious as we take getting bids for the new car. There's thousands of dollars in loans. Remember what I said about 15 minutes ago? There's people who just want to give you a loan. That should tell you there's a lot of money in loans. They don't sell cars. So if there's a lot of money in loans, you're going to see this isn't about relationships. You're either going to be a relationship person or a money person. If you want to be a relationship person, type R. That's going to cost you money in what I'm telling you. If you want to be a money person, if you want to save all the money that you should be saving, type M. That's going to come at an expense of relationships because your bank is not your friend. They're in the business of making money. All right, I see you, Jennifer. I see. All right, a lot of people typing M's. Listen, if you used to go to dinner with your car salesman, invite him to the barbecues, that's going to change when you start getting bids. Unless he just wants to compete. If he's willing to compete, then it won't change. But going back to what Cindy's asking, how do I keep my credit score from taking a hit? So there's a way you do this bank bidding war. There's 3 rounds to it. 3 rounds to it. The first thing we're going to do is check to see, are there any special interest rates for the car we're shopping for? Because if the bank is offering you 0%, 0.99%, this will only come from the company that makes the car. This won't come from a bank or a credit union. When you see 0%, 0.99%, it's like a finance rebate. It's like they're incentivizing you to finance, giving you very cheap or free money to use. No bank can compete with that. So the first thing you're doing, whether you're shopping for a new car, used car, is checking there. That's round 1 of the bank bidding war. Because if you do see that, there's no other reason to let anyone run your credit. That's what I'm getting. I'm going to get the 0%. I'm going to get the 1.99. Now, if that doesn't exist, now what we're doing is we're shopping for our car, and we're going to lock up our car, get our offers. No one needs your credit. When you're getting offers the right way, no one needs your credit to give you an offer. That's a lie. Deshone, they told me they did. They lied to you. What I tell you about the 80%? The 80% lie. Straight face. Look you in the eye. So we're going to get our offers. Once we find the best offer in the market, we reserve the car. We take that buyer's order. We come home. And now we're going to let tons of people run our credit. Isn't that going to make it go down? Here's how the bank bidding war works, and you can Google this. The credit bureaus allow you to have multiple people run your credit within a finite period of time. Experian has an article on this. They say between 14 and 45 days. If you're letting all these people run your credit within this period of time, what it looks like to the credit bureaus is you're rate shopping. You're rate shopping. They're not going to penalize you for rate shopping. They will penalize you from going to dealer, letting this dealer run your credit, letting this, oh, I'm trying to buy this Chevrolet. Oh, let run my credit. And then here I'm at a Nissan dealer. Okay, I'll take the Nissan Altima, letting them run your credit. You'll be penalized for that. That is not what I'm telling you to do. I'm telling you, don't do that. So when you get your car, you're bringing that home, and you're going to call your bank. You're going to now call your credit union or go on their online portals, and you're going to go to every online lender. I have some listed in my book, Lightstream, Community Credit Union, and you're going to let all these people make offers for you. Because who's seen a case? This is another reason this works so well. Who's tried to reach out to their bank or their credit union to get a rate, and they say you have to have a car first? Who's had that happen? You're trying to get a rate, and they say, well, we can't give you a rate. We need you to give us the details of the car first. So now you're trying to make up what you think you're looking for. Yeah, I'm looking for. No, it's because it's not designed to work that way. It's designed to work where you get your paperwork, get your buyer's order, has all the numbers on there, has the year, the make, the model, what you're paying, how much you need to borrow, and then you're calling your banks and credit unions. This is round 2 of the bank bidding war. So you're going to let all those people go and compete. Now, whoever wins that round, you're going to call the dealer the next day, and you're going to say, hey, I got 6.29 from my credit union. But if you guys can beat it, then I'll do the deal with you. This makes the whole price. See, everything I'm telling you to do, if you follow what I'm telling you, the process is easy. You never got to lie. All of those people who taught you how to buy cars and you got to lie, don't tell them you got to trade, don't tell them this, you'll never hear me teach you. You don't have to lie. And the dealers will enjoy working with you to 20% because you're now giving them an opportunity. And it's very different, y'all. When you got a car, when you have a finance manager who's trying to beat the rate you got, here's the difference. And we'll get ready to queue up the next question, Dolan, not yet. Here's the difference. When you don't have a finance manager trying to bid and beat what you have, they're going to their banks and they're asking the salesperson, what's the most you think they'll pay? What's the highest rate you think they'll pay? All right, quote them at this, and then let's see if we can negotiate on the rate. That's what it is when you don't have an offer. But when you give them that, when you found your car, locked it up, and then you call the salesman or you call the finance manager and say, hey, I got 6.29 if you can beat it. Now here's what they're doing. They're reaching out to all their 10, 15 banks and saying, let me see if I can beat this rate. Very different. And only one or two things are going to happen. They're either going to call you and say, hey, look, I tried my hardest. I can't beat the rate. Thanks for the opportunity, but you got a great rate. In which case you have something that we want, which is who knows what we want. When it starts with a P, this is when we guarantee we paid low, the best price for everything. Who remembers? Well, I can't say who remembers because we get new people on this broadcast every day. I swear. All right. Price assurance. So when y'all hear me say price assurance, what that means is you don't drive off anymore hoping you got a good price. Talking to your spouse, hey, you think we could have did better? You think this interest rate was too high? Could we have got a better interest rate? No. Price assurance means you guarantee you couldn't have paid a lower price for the car. Nobody could have paid because you got bids. Nobody could have gave me a lower interest rate because I got bids. Nobody could have gave me more for my old car because I got bids. That's the only way we get price assurance. And all of this is done while you sit at home. So this is in my book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. If you want everything I teach in one spot, it's there. You can get your copy for 75% off. It's normally $97. And you can go to my TikTok bio. It'll be in your inbox in literally 5 minutes. The reason it's a digital book too is because things change. Vroom just went out of business a couple months ago. They used to be one of the people who competed for our business. If you guys had, your book and you had bought it and then it was a print book, because some people say, Deshone, is it in print? This is the reason, one of the reasons why it's not. If Vroom is in that print book, what happens? Now I got to jump on live and say, hey guys, volume 2 of my book is out because things have changed. Get your volume 2. I don't want to do that. You get this one time, and then I update it when Vroom went out of business. I updated the master file. Everybody who opened their book, no matter what, it was relevant. And that's one of the biggest reasons why it's a digital book. So you can grab your copy for 75% off, but you got 30 minutes. Once the timer is 0, it goes back up to 97. In my Instagram bio, in my TikTok bio, or you guys can, I'll put the link right here for you guys on YouTube and Facebook. You can go to deshonesbook.com. Oh, wait, I put the wrong one. I put it in my bio here. All right, Dolan, you can queue up the next question. Keep typing your questions, y'all. We got some more time. We're going to try to get through as many as possible. And we're pulling them from all platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. So we're pulling questions from all platforms. This one's from TikTok. Can you use the equity in your lease towards the purchase of a used vehicle? Most certainly, Eddie, the equity is yours. Once you identify your equity and you know how you're going to get it, who you're selling to, you can either put that money in your bank account or you can use that as a portion of you can use that towards your next car deal. That's your money. Your money. Go ahead, next one. This is another one from TikTok. I need a bit of advice. My son totaled his car. It was a loan, Honda. Should I lease or buy this time around? I'm looking into maybe lease an electric vehicle, but I never have leased a vehicle. Okay, it's a very good question. Should I lease or buy? Let me show you. Some of you, let me show you this. Let me ask a very important question. In my book, this is called Step One. Whenever you hear me say the most important question, this is what I mean. It's the first thing you do. When you want to buy a car, when you like, hey, I'm thinking about a car, this is the first question you ask yourself, and it's the most important question. How many years are you keeping the next car? Come on in, and everybody type your comments. Keep that question up, Dolan. Everyone who's car shopping and who will be soon, how many years are you keeping the next car? Lula, if you just jumped on, I don't come to dealerships because we shop online. So there's no way for me to come to a dealership with you. If you stick around, you'll learn how we shop. There's no reason for you to need somebody with you when you're in your house making car deals. Everybody answer. Everyone who shop, I want you to actually think about this. How many years are you keeping in that car? We're answering that question, Rob. Just tap into the broadcast and what I'm answering before you, because we're literally answering the question someone just asked, should you lease or buy? And the more you stay on the broadcast, because many of you are in the same situation, the more you're going to see someone's going to ask the same question as you. So just listen, and then, most times your question's going to be answered. All right. If it's electric, 3 years. Buying all cash. How many years are you keeping the next car? I got to just pay attention to the people that are listening. I'm sorry. All right. Hyla, I see 3 to 4. Vivian, I see 3 years. All right. 6 years. Okay. 3. Okay. 8 years. Okay. So the first question you're asking yourself, should I lease or buy? You're going to replace that question with how many years am I keeping the car? Now, if the answer is 8 or more, then you should buy. I'm going to tell you why. This has nothing to do with how you're paying for the car. A lot of you may get attached to, if I'm paying cash, does that change anything? If I'm getting it doesn't, because the expense that you need to avoid that's losing you the most money is what I call the unseen expense. It's depreciation. So let me break this down for you very quickly. If you have a $35,000 car, you buy it today. What is that car worth a year from now? Even if you don't drive it, you got a $35,000 car outside in your driveway right now, brand new car. What is it worth a year from now? You didn't drive it 1 mile. Is it worth 35? Is it worth 35? No. Let's go deeper on depreciation, because now we're starting to see with that first question. I'm going to ask you some more. You have to see this is the unseen expense. You buy a car today for 35, you take it back to the dealer in 3 days. Is it worth 35? No. So what does that tell you? There's some expense there, whether you buy or lease. Many of you have been taught, I could just buy a car because I could drive as much as I want. Let's throw another one in there. You buy a car today for 35, you put 30,000 miles on it. Isn't it worth much less a year from now? So this is the unseen expense, and this is how it's working against you. You got to look at depreciation like this. See this curve? This is where you are the day you buy the car. This is what you pay for it. This is how it's dropping over 5-6 years. So now the beautiful thing is long-term owners who has a car outside that they've had for more than 8 years. Type me. Some of you might have been 10 years. Some of you might have been 20 years. this is what you have to see. If you're getting rid of your cars anywhere in this 6-7 year mark, you're losing money. It's no way. It's no way you can replace something you bought and it's dropping like this. But here's the beautiful thing. For those of you who are like, look, I had my car for 12 years. I had my car for 8 years. I had my car for 10 years, 16 years. This is where you're at. That's how your car is losing value. See, the car you have that you've had outside for 10 years, what it's worth today, a year from now, isn't it going to be worth about the same thing? Right? Talking to you long-term owners who keep your cars, you're winning. See, because you've reached the reward. You've reached the reward for buying. The reward for buying is to get to the stage where your car a year from now is going to be worth about the same of what it's worth now. Now, that's when you should be buying. If your goal isn't to get to that level, you should not be buying. You should be shopping for lease deals. Because there's only two ways to beat depreciation. What I just said, and some of you might be saying, Deshone, I can't, I'm not keeping a car that long. You should not be buying cars. You're not getting to that level. You're not getting to the winning. The winning is that. Got a car outside, paid off, barely losing value. It was worth $9,500 last year. It's worth $9,000 this year. That's the reward. Now, for those of you on the other side, if you're on the other side, you should be leasing. And I'm going to show you how drastic it is of a difference when you should be leasing, but you're buying. I'm going to show you that there's no way for you to get a great deal if you are buying when you should be leasing. Look at somebody like, let's pull up, we talked about Danielle earlier. Look at Tope. Tope got a BMW, $54,000 vehicle. Now, some of you know, every $5,000 on the price of a car is how much per month? Every $5,000 on the price of a car is how much per month? It's not 7 years, so it's always 8 years. See, in my book, it's something called the 8-year rule. If you're not keeping your car 8 years, you should not be buying. Okay, good. I see a lot of you are tapped in. Every $5,000 is $100 a month. So when you're looking at a $50,000 car, you should be thinking that's $1,000 a month payment. What about the down payment? Forget about the down payments. Down payments have nothing to do with the deal. We are just talking about boundaries. When we look at a $50,000 car, $1,000 a month, 5-year loan. $20,000 car, $400 a month, 5-year loan. Every 5,000 is about $100 a month. Now let's look at Tope's deal. Tope got a $54,000 BMW. She's paying $756 a month. I'm going to prove to you right now that if you should be leasing because you're a short-term person, you are not keeping your next car 8 years. You're not keeping your previous cars 8 years, yet you bought them. I'm going to show you how much money you've lost listening to people that told you shouldn't be leasing. And we're going to correct that. So Tope got a deal, shopping multiple offers the way I teach. She got multiple offers. She got $690 a month. That's a 1.26% lease. $690 on a $54,000 vehicle. So let's say we're going to break down real quick 3 different ways to get this vehicle right here that she got. One is the way she got it, leasing, because she's a short-term person. Now let's say somebody says, Deshone, I'm going to buy that car. That person buys that car. Let's say they get an incredible price and they save $10,000 off a brand new BMW. Okay? I want to show you that even with extreme cases of big money, I could teach you how to get the best price on the car, but it's not going to change. If your deal is on the wrong foundation, you can't get a great deal. So let's say somebody walks in right after Tope. They look at her car, they see her driving off, and they're like, man, I want that same car. All right. And they end up saving 10 grand. So they buy it for $45,000. Taxes, fees, probably put them up around 48. Every $5,000 we said is $100 a month. $48,000, that's a $950 payment, y'all. 5-year loan. No money down, because Tope put no money down. So we're comparing putting no money into these deals. When you start putting no money into the deals and looking at them, you're going to clearly understand them. Sometimes people use down payment money to confuse you. $690 a month she's paying, they're driving off paying $950. No way. Now a third person comes in. Man, I see those two people just drove off. You got that car used though? Can I get a used one? I don't want to buy a new one. I don't want to get a new one. I know that's going to be expensive. What do you think a brand new vehicle that was $54,000 brand new? What's a good price of that vehicle used, y'all? What's a good price used? I want to hear it. Somebody throw something out. 40? Okay. 40? I'm going to take the lowest number. This is how it's going. I mean, it's not going to be 30. Okay, a $54,000 vehicle. You're not. Let's take 21. Okay. No, all right. I can't. We gotta use like real answers. So you're not getting a $54,000 vehicle. Oh, maybe I should preface 3 years old, right? Let's say 35. Let's say 35. Right? That's pretty conservative. 54,000 new. They find one for a great price. It's a used car. They get it for 35. Every $5,000, $100 a month. What's the car payment? 700. 700. So you have Tope, who's driving off in a brand new BMW, $690 a month. You got the person who bought thinking it saved $10,000, got an incredible discount, $950. And then you got the person who got a 3-year-old BMW. Warranty will be up next year. They're going to be on their own. They're paying $700. That's what I mean. I told you I was going to make it very clear for you that when you should be leasing, you cannot get a great deal. I don't care how much money you save off the car. I don't care if you buy a used one. When you should be shopping for great lease deals, you're not a long-term person. Now, here's where both of those people can beat Tope. Both of those people can keep their cars 8 years. Long-term, pay the cars off. Now, we see them down the line, and now they're winning. And it's not that Tope is losing. It's just that they've all won now. Everything when you purchase cars, when you get to this stage, if a person bought that car and they're at this stage now, I had this BMW for 8, 9, 10 years, and it's not losing any value anymore. Oh, you won. That's the reward for buying. But if you're not going to get there, you're losing by not leasing. That's the leasing versus buying. I call that the most important question. It's the first question. When you open my book, it's step 1. How many years are you keeping the next car? That is the first thing you ask yourself because it's the foundation of your car deals. So everything that I'm teaching you is out of my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. Step 1 is the most important question. Step 7 is delivery. So by the time you get to step 7, you're either having your car delivered or you're picking it up. This is not a book you read and then you go take a test on it. This is an action guide that gets you closer and closer to your vehicle. And when you get to step 7, you're taking delivery. So you can get it for 75% off. Get your copy. Get your 75% off in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio. It'll be in your inbox in literally 5 minutes. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can scan the QR code or you can go to Deshone'sBook.com. All right. I love talking about this. Go ahead, Dolan. We got time for, we probably got time for 2 more. Bring in 2 more, Dolan. Bring in the next one. And then we'll wrap. Yep. I drive too much to lease. See, hold on. Before you say that, you got to be very careful making statements. And I'm going to be honest with you, y'all. I will put what I teach and I put my people who learn from me against anybody shopping for cars. Because once you get this and once you get how to shop, you'll be able to do this in 60 minutes. You'll be able to get great car deals in 60 minutes. But in order for you to win, the best thing for you to do is ask questions here, not make statements. All right. This one's from TikTok. Can you use the equity in your lease toward the purchase? Oh, yeah, we got that one already, Dolan. We did that one. Shoot the next one up. This one's from Instagram. How do you compare car prices if the model has different options and packages? Are you talking about new cars? Or are you talking about used cars? let's just break down them both. How do you compare car prices if the model has different options and packages? The way we compare lease offers, we look at them from percentages. See, prices can change, but percentages don't. If I got a $40,000 vehicle and I'm paying under 400, that's a 1% lease. We call that a steal. If somebody offers me a $42,000 car, if it's 1%, then that's $420. That's why we go by percentages. Same thing with used cars. When we're looking at a used car, I need to know what the original MSRP was. I'm going to get this from the Carfax. I'm going to get this from, there's a site called With Clutch. Carfax has an agreement with a couple manufacturers where they have the window sticker there. So I'm going to get I'm not going to buy a used car, and I would never recommend you buy a used car without knowing the original MSRP, because we want to look at the discount percentage. So example, my Infiniti truck I bought, it was $54,000 brand new. The other three that I was looking at, one was 52, one was 48, one was 46. So when I compared the discount off of the new price, this one had the greatest discount off the new price. Therefore, it was the best offer. And that doesn't matter that it had more options than everything. It also had a greater discount percentage wise. That's how we compare, no matter what prices are being thrown at us. When you learn to look at things percentage, and I have calculators in my book. I have ways that we make offers. I have calculators that I've invented, online calculators where we plug in all our offers and then it spits out the counter offers that we should be making. All of that is in there. Like there's more stuff in the book than I could ever describe on this one live stream. All right, go ahead. Cue up the last one. Pick a good one. TikTok, listen to him. He got me a check for $4K for my lease car. I said pick a good one. You picked a good one. Listen, a lot of people, and I'm glad, congratulations on that. A lot of people didn't even know you could sell leases. If you didn't know you could sell a lease, type a question mark. Be honest. If we're honest here, this is how you're going to win. Because at some point, this person right here who just said I got $4K selling my lease, at some point, they didn't know you could sell a lease. But once they discovered it, they're like, okay, I'm going to tap in. I'm going to follow what he says. And that part of their transaction's 4,000 richer. Forget what they bought. Forget how much they got off the car. Just that part is 4K. So all of you who said I didn't know you could sell a lease, think of how much money you have left on the table returning leases to dealerships without doing an equity assessment. So we must do it. So I'm very big on getting this information out. Y'all can get it any way you want. You can go through all my social media videos. As you can see, those videos are made for different types of people. Some of you are high mileage drivers. Some of you are, going to be leasing. Some of you have negative equity. Some of you are going to be purchasing new. Some of you are going to be purchasing used. Some of you are going to be paying cash. So you can go through the social media videos and piece the ones together that's for you. You can also hop on these live streams, piece the information together for you, or you can go and grab your copy of my new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships, and you can just have the whole playbook. And the playbook is in there for everything. So if you're leasing now, it's in there. If you're going to be getting your spouse a car, it's in there. I can't tell you how much the book is going to make you. You'll tell me. Maybe 10, 15, 20 years, you'll tell me, this book, Deshone, this book has saved me $20,000. Because the more cars you get, the more your money you're going to save, even if you're going to get one. But I just want you to have the information, get it how you want it. You can get 75% off your copy as part of our book launch in my TikTok bio. Click that link, and then same thing on Instagram. Click that link and then click the button that says get 75% off my new book. But it's only for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, price goes back up to $97. $24 is better than $97. So, and I'll put the link one more time for you guys on YouTube and Facebook. You can click this link here that says Deshone's book. I just posted it. Or you can scan the QR code. If you might be watching us on a television, you can just scan the QR code with your phone, grab your 75%. So this is what we do. Whenever you see me live, I'd encourage you to invite a friend, tell somebody. If you see a coworker and they're like, man, I got to buy a car soon, invite them to one of our streams, because we get very, very detailed about showing you all the money in your car deals and making sure you know what you're doing. Please, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, we got a lot of things coming to YouTube. We're going to be time stamping these questions in future episodes so that you can easily navigate through previous episodes and find your answers. So everything is Deshone the Auto Advisor. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube because we got a lot of stuff coming there. But other than that, have a great day. I'll see y'all in the next broadcast. Everyone who got the book, use it, win with it, and make sure you DM me or email me your success stories. I want to see your deals. Email me your deals, not just your cars. You're going to love it. Once you start making deals and you're confident with the money, you're going to be so excited about sharing the numbers, you might forget to tell me what car you got. You know, Deshone, look at this price I just got. Oh, by the way, it was on this car. You know, so that's what we want. All right. God bless y'all. I'll see you soon. Okay. All right, so Dolan, I got my man Dolan. He's going to be bringing in the questions from all the platforms. Dolan, can you bring in Royal King's question first? What is the ideal car payment price? So one of the things that we look at when we're considering, car payment is, I always say, in fact, I had a video, some of you may have saw it. It was my first video ever on TikTok where it started out saying the worst thing you could do in a car dealership is to say, just get me to this price. We have a deal. Because the payments can be manipulated. So when you just focus on payment, you tend to lose or not focus on what you're actually paying for the car. So for example, a $30,000 car, well, that could be $600 a month on a 5-year loan. That could be $800 a month on a 5-year loan with a very high interest rate. $30,000 car could be a $300 a month lease payment. A $30,000 car could be a $350 payment on a 96-month loan. So that's why you don't want to focus on price. What you want to do is you want to focus on, unless you're leasing, you don't want to focus on monthly payment. If you're purchasing a new car or a used car, you want to focus on what is the price I'm paying for the car. And once you are able to focus on that, you'll be able to easily understand what that price should equate to on a monthly payment. Like some of you know, what is every $5,000 on a car payment? Every $5,000, and this is something for you to keep in mind forever, Royal King. The every $5,000 on the purchase price of a car that you're borrowing on a loan is how much per month? Remember this rule. I'm gonna see if anybody else knows. Hey, Kenneth, good to see you. Yeah, smash that like button. Thank you, Brian. Yep. Exactly, Michaela, $100. So that's a good gauge for you to go in with $100 every 5,000. So when you look at a $10,000 car, what should pop into your mind is $200 a month. You should automatically default to a 5-year loan. I don't want you defaulting to 6. 6 is what I call the longest. I have a rule called the rule of 72 and the 10th birthday, which means we don't take a car loan more than 6 years, which is 72 months, and we don't have a car loan on the car past its 10th birthday. Bad combination, a lot of risk. So if you just default to every $5,000 of the car I'm shopping for, it's going to be $100 a month. That's going to be a good rule of thumb for you to base it off of. So welcome to everybody who just jumped on. If this is your first time with me on a live stream, could you type the number 1? I just always like to see the shout out the first time people. You're here for the first time. We do these live broadcasts. I call them right now. I call them car shopping Q&A, car shopping questions and answers. All right, welcome. Could everybody, if you've been here once before, could y'all just type welcome and just keep sending your questions. After you type welcome to all the new people, type your questions in and we'll get to as many as we can in an hour. This whole broadcast is sponsored by, and I'll be teaching out of my new book. My new digital book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's a complete system of how to shop and get bids online. You should be doing 90 to 100% of your transaction online if you really want to save all the money. That's what we'll be talking about. You can't do 100% online with a used car because we have to test drive. But new cars, you can do 90 to 100%. Used cars, you can do 90% of your transaction online. So you can get your copy for 75% off in my TikTok bio for 30 minutes, Instagram bio for 30 minutes, or if you're on Facebook or Instagram, just go to Deshone's book or scan the QR code. All right, Dolan, shoot the next question and let's keep them coming. Just tag. All right, this one's from YouTube. Can you explain to me, once I pick a vehicle, how do I get the best lease rate? Well, different dealerships, same manufacturers, have different lease rates. Very good question. Every dealership is different, unless there's sometimes price fixing by buying multiple dealerships in the same area. Some people will do that, which means we're going to go outside of that. Typically, when you look at buying up dealerships in the same market, you're trying to fix the price there. So if they go, but that's okay, because what you're going to do is you're going to shop so wide, you'll shop outside of them. You'll get used to driving an hour. If somebody beats the bid and they're saving you thousands of dollars, that's a good car ride when you're going to pick up a car. I had a young lady last year, Shonda, she lives in California. Every Northern California Volvo dealer was saving her money, a little money, but this one in Southern California beat her best offer by $3,000. I said, so what are you going to do? She said, Deshone, the plane ticket was 70. I think she said $73. I'll be on my way. So, you'll get used to that. Every dealer has a different price. And I know you may have thought, oh, these dealers are all the same. Nissan is Nissan. Nope. They're all independently owned, independently operated, and they're all competing. So when the way you shop for the best rate is multiple offers, I teach you to get at least 5. When you are buying a new car or a lease, at least 5 offers, because 80% of dealers are overpriced. So out of that 5 offers, 4 are going to be higher. 1 is going to beat everybody, and that's the one that we go with. I have a system I use called the 25 to 5. I teach this. It's in my book, where we connect with 25 dealers online to get 5 offers. You can do it manually. You can call and ask for sales managers, and you can run your scenario past them, and you can get an offer from them. You need to do 5 though. You're not going to see the big money, the big savings until you do 5. I've been shopping with enough people around the country the last 3 years to know at least 5 offers, sometimes 7, to save the big money. All right. Go ahead. Bring the next one in, Dolan. Keep typing your questions. We're going to try to get to as many as we can. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Deshone. I go by Deshone the Auto Advisor. I spent 14 years in the car business. I left in 2020, 5 years with Mercedes, 5 years in General Motors. I say that in most of my videos. And now I spend time educating the public. We are hell-bent, on getting the information to you to help you save money and help you save time. All right, shoot the next one in, Dolan. Let's roll. This one is from TikTok. Upside down on my truck, but want to get a smaller one under lease. What can I do? Okay, so you're upside down. So anybody who knows they're upside down, this is called negative equity. You owe more money on your car than it's worth. First thing you want to do is make sure that you've gotten the highest offers. There's 3 things that you can do with negative equity. If you're in a position where you owe more money on your car than it's worth, you have 3 options. 2 of them, you get a new car. 1 of them, you don't. This is why I call negative equity the devil to your car deals. It's the bad credit for people with good credit, because in some cases, it can stop you from getting a car. So you want to know how you handle it. First option, best option, is for you to get online bids from the people who pay the most for cars. This is not dealerships. This is why we don't trade cars. Some of you, if you were on the last broadcast, or if you've seen some of the other broadcasts, we do not trade cars, because we don't get what our car is worth in the market on trade. Think about it. When have you ever gotten something? Let's just say you got a water, and you're trying to trade a water for a pencil. Neither one of those things is getting maximum value. I'm trading a lawnmower for a bicycle. You don't get the most money by trading. What we do is we go to the online buyers who pay the most money for cars. They cut checks same day, very quick process, and we get bids. You're going to go to CarMax.com, Driveway.com, Carvana.com. I told you you're going to be trying to remember some of this so you can watch the replay, or all of this is in my new book. It can be in your inbox in 3 minutes. You got 30 minutes to get it, 75% off in my bios. You're going to go to Driveway, Auto Nation, Sell My Car, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offers. We do not use KBB.com. They don't make offers. In fact, they waste time most of the time. They're an advertising site. And we go to Car Guru, Sell My Car. Now, what I love, what's really good about this strategy is you have a wide variety of offers. CarMax, Carvana, and Driveway are independent used car buyers that buy and resell used cars. The other three I mentioned are going to connect you with a local dealer so that a local dealer can bid. So you're getting 3 bids from dealers, 3 bids from online buyers. It's diversified offers. Now, once you have that, those offers are going to be higher than whoever you end up buying your car from. If you're using this, what I teach, whoever you buy your new car from or your used car, they won the bid, which means they beat everyone else. They agreed to sell their car lower than anyone else. They're not going to win that bid and then turn around and pay you the most and win the bid on buying your old car. You can't burn the candle from both sides. So we separate our transactions. You need to get those offers because that's going to give you your least negative equity position. Whoever went down, if you can pay the difference, that's what you do. Whoever makes that highest offer, if it's $1,000 less than your negative equity, come up with $1,000, pay it off. That gives you freedom to do your deal totally clean. And that is the best way. Now, if you can't, your second option is to transfer the negative equity, in which case you're now going to bring that car to the dealer who wins the bid to sell you a car, and you're going to see how much they could offer for it. So you get your offers over there, you still do that, and then you're going to have a conversation with the dealer who wins the bid to sell you a car. Again, you can't expect them to match the highest offer. Well, CarMax beat everybody. Driveway beat everybody. They will offer me 28. Does not matter. That car is not going to be worth 28 to them. And so this is why this is the second best option, and it's the transfer. First option is to take the highest bid, cover the difference, move with no negative equity. Because when you transfer negative equity, you need the dealer you're buying the car from to wrap the negative equity into one deal. I see y'all shooting the likes up on TikTok. Thank you so much. Can y'all also, everybody who shares, can you hit that share button, hit that arrow, and tag one of your friends or invite one of your friends over because they need this information just as much as you do. We all need it. So shout out to the sharers, and please inbox me some ideas of something we can do for our sharers. You guys are really what keeps this community growing. I appreciate you all. So that's the two. Now, one thing you got to think about when transferring negative equity is loan to value ratios. You can't throw $7,000 on top of a car. Let me explain how this works real quick, and then we'll get to the next question. Cue up the next question, Dolan. We'll wrap this one up in probably about 60 seconds. When you buy a $30,000 car, doesn't matter what your credit is, the bank's only going to lend about 20-25% above that car's value, which means this is why you can do no money down deals. No money down deals are not a favor. The bank allows them within the loan to value ratio. So if you're buying a $30,000 car, and let's say you have great credit and you get approved for, good credit, let's say good credit, most people will get approved for 20% above the car's value. So if it's a $30,000 car, the bank will lend another 20%, $6,000. That means you have to put taxes, fee, anything in there. You have $6,000 above the car's purchase price. Now, pay attention. If you don't know how to buy cars below market, some people will pay $30,000 and they won't pay $30,000. They'll pay $33,000. They'll pay $32,000. They overpaid. It doesn't change the value of the car, which means you have a smaller window. So when you're buying below market, you give yourself the best chance to have the most, amount to build in, but it's still capped. So if it's 36, then you can transfer, you can put, you got your purchase price is 30, you got your taxes, you got your fees, which is probably another $1,000, documentation and DMV, and then you might have another 2,000 in there that you can transfer negative equity. If you got 4,000, they're going to tell you, no, we can't approve it because it's above the loan to value. That's when you can't do no money down deals. So those of you who want to do no money down deals, you got no negative equity, no problem. Those of you who want to do you want to lease, no problem. But if you have too much negative equity, you're going to need to put money down because you're going to blow out the loan to value ratios. You can have a 900 credit score. It doesn't change the fact that the bank has thresholds. So get out of negative equity, stay out of it. If you can't do transfer, then you're going to need to stay in that car and pay down the negative equity a little bit. And you should be transferring to a lease because the cause of I just explained how to get out of it. I didn't explain the cause. The cause is you buy cars, you take out loans, you trade those cars in, and you don't lease. That's really the problem. That's really the problem. So stay on here. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of leasing questions. You need to understand what's causing the negative equity so you can start repeating it. All right, shoot the next one in, Dolan. Keep typing your questions, y'all. I'll try to keep the answers quick, but I don't want to discount the answers. I don't want to give you a short version. Let's go. This one's from TikTok. Hi, I have a lease. I have my lease have negative equity. Will that be a problem? You don't have negative equity on a lease. A lease has penalties. That means that what you've agreed to use, you've gone above that. So your mileage, you've gone above that. How many people have had the dealer say to them, come on in, we'll take care of the mileage, we'll take care of your old payments, come on in. How many people have people writing them saying, come on, we'll get you out of your lease early, or emailing you or calling you. Don't worry about the mileage. Here's what they're doing. I see, this is very common. So you're not the only one. I told you, many of you are getting the same calls, the same emails, because those are templates. No mileage is ever covered. If the car is purchased, which means they worked with your equity, we never let a dealer control our equity. That's the only time mileage and payments are forgiven totally. Car is purchased. When a car is returned, which is what happens in many cases, they're taking your mileage penalty, and let's say it's $2,500 or whatever it is, and they're applying that to your next deal. And so when you do that, you are essentially paying for your old car and your new car. You want to know what it is? We compare three things when we're trying to deal with a lease penalty. And next lease, you got to choose right. I've had a lot of people that will write me or email me and say, Deshone, I drive 15,000 a year, but I signed up for 10. That's so you're gonna ruin, or at least not even ruin, you're gonna hurt your lease experience to save $40 a month. You could have just got the 15 and paid the additional 40 for the usage and enjoyed, but now you wanted to save the $40 and you didn't get enough mileage. So don't blame the lease. When you hear people say this, oh, I got all these penalties, it's because you didn't customize your lease the way you were supposed to for your lifestyle. But in this particular case, do your equity assessment. That's the first thing you do. The person who asked this question on TikTok, follow the equity assessment process, call your bank, get the payoff, and then go on those websites that I mentioned who make cash offers. If you have a lease, when you're doing your equity assessment, go to those websites. It's going to ask you, is the car owned, financed, or leased? You want to put owned. Don't choose leased. All right. It's not important. You just want to put owned, because you're going to ask your bank when you call, do you have a third party restriction? If you do not have a third party restriction, you're with Toyota, you're with Chase, you can sell to the highest bidder, you can sell to anybody. If you have a third party restriction, now you need to sell to a local dealership of the same brand to get your equity. But that's the first thing you do. If you got mileage penalties, if you got payment, do your equity assessment. Nothing more important than that as a first step. All right. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one in. We're taking questions from YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Go ahead, bring the next one in, Dolan. This one's from TikTok. All right, make sure, listen, bring some of those people in from YouTube and Facebook. We're doing a lot of TikTok. Does damage to a vehicle decrease the trade-in or cash value significantly? It does. It depends on how significant the damage is. On a lease, they allow wear and tear. So you're expected to have little brush scratches, little dings, little dents. That's normal. If it's damaged, that's like, a baseball size dent, or the tires are completely bald, that means you need new tires. Yes, these things affect your value, because whether you own a car or not, anything that'll make a person be like, oh, I got to put that money into that affects your value. If they look and say, all right, I see the car was keyed on the right side, I got to put money in, that affects your value. But I always say, don't repair anything that doesn't dramatically increase your value. Don't repair stuff where, all right, I could go and I could get these little nicks touched up. It'll cost me like $700. Those little nicks touched up will probably only increase your value of your car $700. So you're going to pay $700 to make $700. You make nothing by doing that. Now, if it's something that, like that you can, like a big issue, I say this a lot. Those of you, if you have a transmission or an engine issue, it's much better to get the transmission, get the engine fixed, get the car in a good position, because you might spend $2,000 or $2,500 to get a rebuilt engine, but it increases the value of your vehicle by $5,000. Those are repairs that are worth making. Little stuff like that. But yeah, go ahead, shoot the next one in, Dolan. Okay, this one's from YouTube. Would you recommend new or used for a family with a current? Okay, would you recommend used or new for a family with a current car loan for a car but need a bigger car? Plan to keep both for 8 years plus. Okay, so good. So Brianna knows about the 8-year rule, which is if you're not buying and keeping your cars 8 years, you're losing thousands of dollars not leasing. So she's already said, I'm keeping my car at least 8 years. So great. Here's, all right. If you're debating who wants to know whether you should buy new or used, that's this question. That's a budget issue. Now, some of you, when you do your budget, the biggest thing is to get your needs. Everything you need, you can't compromise on. If you need a family SUV, if you need 3 rows, you can't compromise on your needs. I had somebody come into the Mercedes dealership. They were looking at a big family vehicle. They had 3 or 4 kids. And when I worked at Mercedes, and they said, all right, once we did the pricing, even at our best offer, it was way above their budget. And what they said was, well, what about the smaller one? What about the next size down, which didn't have a 3rd row? I said, let me ask you a question. Didn't you tell me you needed a 3rd row for the kids? Yeah, I do. Yeah, you're right. Now, many people have done this. When the price gets compromised, they take out a need and go for a want. Big mistake. Big mistake. So the needs are the most important thing. The needs are, I can't live without this. I can't enjoy the car without this. I won't enjoy the car without this. It won't do what I needed to do without this feature. All-wheel drive, whatever. So once you establish that and you go for it, some of you will look and say, you might say, man, I can't get a new car that covers all my needs for my budget. That means you go for a pre-owned car. You go for a quality pre-owned car and you get a below market deal using what I teach. Let's say some of you are like, Deshone, I could afford both. My budget allows me to get a new or pre-owned. Now what? Now I have something in my book I call 2 different values. One is the treat yourself, because treat yourself means, I only get a new car every decade. So I'm going to get a new car. I only buy a car every decade. This car is going to be in my life for 10 plus years, 8 years, whatever. I'm going to get everything I want. I'm going to get brand new, latest and greatest. That's one value. Next value is I'm going to get all my needs. A lot of my wants, probably all my wants, get a pre-owned version, not 30, 40% off the price. And that's another value. So that's how it works. It's a budget issue. And if your budget can afford both, then it becomes a values issue. That's it. Okay. I go into all of this. This is exactly what you do. Like, because there's tons of people who could afford a new car and you just like, oh, should I buy used? I've been hearing people say never buy a new car, you know, but at the end of the day, if you have the budget, you got to remember, if you're keeping the car for the long term, you'll get some of that value back when you sell it in 10 years, in 8 years. So if I pay 20% more because I wanted a new car, I'm going to recoup a percentage of that back. Now, that you're not getting that back if you don't keep it. So if you think, oh, I'm gonna get a new one and then I'm gonna keep it 5 years, you might be new here. We don't do that. If you're not keeping 8 years, you should be leasing. You're losing tons of money. And we'll be hitting on that throughout the hour. Go ahead, Dolan, bring the next one in. Great question, Brianna. And if you stay on long enough, you will hear someone who asks your question. And thank you to everybody who gives gifts, stars, supports the broadcast. And of course, thank you to everyone who got your copy of my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. As part of our launch, it's 75% off. And it's my 7-step system for buying cars, leasing cars, new cars, selling leases, getting the banks to getting the best loans. It's all in there in a step-by-step format. It's normally $97, but as part of our official launch, you can get yours for 75% off in my TikTok bio or in my Instagram bio. Click that website and hit that button that says get new book for 75% off. And if you guys are on Instagram, on YouTube and Facebook, I'll post a link for you guys. You can click this one that says deshonsbook.com or scan the QR code with your phone and grab your copy for 75% off. It'll be in your inbox in 5 minutes. Okay, go ahead, Dolan. Bring the next question in. Let's keep them rolling. Great question so far. This one's from Instagram. What percentage discount off MSRP is a great deal? This depends, and I'm gonna show you why. Let me show you why you can never assume what the bottom of the market is for a car. You will lose all the time. So this is Sean. Sean wrote me the other day. Sean uses my stuff. He gets bids. He wrote me the other day and he said, he said, I'm looking for some advice on this deal. He just wanted to make sure he was doing it right. F-150 Lightning XLT, the MSRP is $73,285. Now, got a $49.90 discount from the dealer who won the bid, and the deal and revealed that there was a $15,500 rebate. Now, all the other offer, what I asked him, because that's over a $20,000 savings on this brand new truck. I said, I haven't seen the other offers yet, but I'm assuming you got at least 5. When we shop for new cars and leases, you use my stuff, you want to save the big money, you must get at least 5 offers because 80% are overpriced. So we get at least 5 offers. And I said, you're saving over 20 grand on this with the discount and the rebates. But the only way to know is to compare to the other offer. How do we know we can't save 25? How do you know the rebate's 15.5? I sold 2 Maybachs when I worked for Mercedes-Benz. They both had $20,000 rebates. How do we know that that's all the rebate money? How do we know they're not holding some back? By having other offers. He said, guess I could have put a little more info on here. Yes, I got about 15 quotes. Go for him. And it sounds to you, if you've been shopping the old way, Sean saying I got 15 quotes using my online system, which is copy and paste in emails, it sounds like, wow, that must have took a lot of time. Probably took him 60 minutes to do it. So, and this is the same stuff I want you doing. I couldn't find anything under MSRP in his area. I ended up expanding my search 150 miles outside my area, and I found this deal. I'm going to another state to pick it up, which is something I never would have considered before coming and working and learning from me. You see, he didn't know he was going to save 20 grand off the truck. He didn't go in saying, if I can't save 20 grand, I won't get this truck. Look at same thing with Kimberly. Kimberly got a Maserati. She leased her. Sean's buying his. Kimberly, $86,000 MSRP, $86,961 selling price, $66,261, $20,000 discount, $20,700 to be exact. You get these offers by bidding. Now, at the same time, there's other vehicles like Eddie got his Toyota. He got a 2023 Toyota hybrid, all the bells and whistles, received quotes as high as 10 grand over sticker. And he ended up getting $2,086 under MSRP. That was his lowest bid on a Toyota Camry hybrid. So he didn't go in. We never go in assuming. We don't know what the rebates are. We don't know how much the winning dealer is going to give. But here's what you know. When you shop the right way, you should have a $3,000 to $5,000 difference between your best offer and your highest offer on a regular car. That's a regular car. 3 to 5,000, more like 5. That's when you know you shop the right way. And as you get into luxury cars and bigger SUVs, 70, 80, 90 grand, 100 grand, you'll start to see 10 grand spread between your best offer and your highest offer. That's when you know you're shopping right. So we never go in. And here's what, and then cue up the next question, Dolan. What they're never going to do is take the deal they got on one car and bring it to the other car. They're not going to do that. Because we know just because I saved 20 grand on my Maserati don't mean I'm going to turn around and save 20 grand on my BMW. The bottom of the market for that car is different than the bottom of the car market for this car. All we know is we get the bottom. Whatever it is, we get the bottom. Multiple offers. Go ahead. Cue the next one up. Great question. This one's from Instagram. How can you find a great car deal on a used car? So in my book, I talk, and everything that you're hearing is going to be taught out in my book. When you watch my videos on social media, all of this is out my book. If this is your first time on a live broadcast, welcome. You'll get to know that this is a system. I don't deviate. I don't want you having to figure it out. The system doesn't change. You just got to learn it and realize this is how I shop for used cars now. This is how I shop for leases now. This is how I shop for new cars now. So when it comes to used cars, the first thing we're looking for is a quality car. And then the last thing we're looking for is a below market car deal. All right? The type below, if you understand that there's only 3 different market prices. Market value, let's call that average. Is average a deal? Does average sound like it's a deal? I want to see everybody's answers. So y'all, I dialogue. So you might as well keep your hands quick, keep your hands next to your keyboard. Okay? I'm not talking at people. I'm not talking at you. I'm dialoguing with you. So keep your hands next to your keyboard. Nothing about market value is a deal. Something that most people are getting, the average price paid, not a deal. Above market, not a deal. That's even worse. The only thing we care about is below market. That's it. So now, our process for looking for a pre-owned car is different than the process of looking for a new car. New car, I call it the 25 to 5. We reach out to 25 dealers online, takes us 20 minutes. We're going to get 5 to 7 offers out of that. Used cars, we use something I call the multiple marketplace strategy. That means when you shop for a used car, who's going to be shopping for a used car either now or in the near future? Type the letter U. This answer is for you guys. If you're going to be shopping for a used car, either now you are or you're going to be shopping for one soon. Okay, so here's how you set this up. You want to look everywhere used cars are online. I compare this to if you were buying something like electronics, like a TV. You wouldn't just walk into a TV store. You would be online. I don't know if there's people that still overpay for TVs, but most people are not going to overpay for a TV. Not now. You're going to be online, Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, everywhere. Everywhere there's a TV, checking prices, right? We bring that same thing to used car shopping. Cars.com is different than autotrader.com. That's different than cargurus.com. Yes, some of the inventory is the same, but some of it is different. Sometimes you'll see a price on Car Gurus and it hasn't been updated yet, and it's lower on Auto Trader. So you got to look at all the marketplaces. We use 8 of them. We use Car Gurus, Auto Trader, Cars.com, Carfax, Driveway, CarMax, Carvana, eBay Motors. We're looking at all this inventory. And what we do is we look, and the first thing we want to do is sort the prices from lowest to highest, because you can't get a below market deal if you don't know what the market is. Remember what I told y'all about 8 minutes ago? When you are shopping correctly, you should see a $3,000 to $5,000 difference between the best offer and the highest one. That doesn't change. And you might have been here on this side based on how you shop and the way you do things. You might have been either on average or above. The only way to guarantee you're getting below is you need to look at the market. You need to compare other offers, and I bought below. So we sort all those marketplaces, and we do it by low to high, because we need to know where the low side of the market is. Once we have the low side of the market, listen, who shared this? Because this is too good for you to keep to yourself. It really is. I know we in this particular day and age, it's like we gotta realize this is a battle of money, y'all. Your friends and family are right now, some of your friends and family are out there overpaying for cars, buying above market value and at market value, getting no deals, leaving like, oh, did we do okay? No, you didn't. So shout out to the sharers. Appreciate everybody who shares these broadcasts. So once you do low to high, now what you're looking for is to say, okay, low side of the market's about 22, 23. High side is 28, 29. Low side is going to be trash most of the time. Accidents, frame damage, title issues. That's okay. As long as we know where the low side is, we put on alerts so that every bit of new inventory comes to our phone. We get alerted when a new car hits the market, and we're now looking for that car. Now it needs to pass 3 things. It needs to pass great title history, incredible regular service records. Not even a question. You should not, I will not, I never recommend you ever buy a used car that doesn't have great service records. Biggest indicator of whether the car was taken care of or not. I will not buy an unknown, because when things start happening and you don't know why they're happening, and you look at that Carfax and you see that it's blank, or you see that it's 20,000 miles of gaps, you got no one to blame. So none of this guarantees that we get out the woods with a great car, but it does give us boundaries to where we can say I've taken every step possible to make sure that my investment is wonderful. So that's what you do. We do a Carfax. We screen down from title to accident records, title, service records, accident history. I won't do a car with airbags deployed. Airbags deployed is a big deal on a used car. Vehicle towed. You see accident, vehicle towed, that's a deal breaker for me. That means it was a serious accident. You might see vehicle drivable. That means it wasn't a serious accident. That means it could have been a little fender bender in a mall. Cops came out, it gets reported to Carfax, everyone drove away, no frame damage, nothing detrimental to the car. But again, it's on you. Some people say, I don't want any accident. That's perfectly fine too. And some people say, I'll deal with a moderate accident if it was something like that. And then the last thing we do is we need the price of the car brand new. If I bought an Infiniti truck last year, I wouldn't have known it was a great deal if I didn't know that it was originally $54,000 and I paid $31,800. All the other Infinitis I was looking for were less originally. What I just broke down over the last 8-9 minutes was how you get a used car, how you find a quality used car, and you make sure that you're buying it on the low side of the market. The last step is, how do we pick the right one and make sure we're saving the most money? In order to do that, you have to know what the price was originally. We get that from the Carfax. And if you don't have the Carfax, I don't buy Carfaxes on these websites, skip it, go right to the dealer site, Many of you don't know. Well, I don't think any of you know unless you worked in a car dealership that most dealers have a contract with Carfax. Literally, you can go to the car dealership's website and you can get the Carfax. All of this is in my new book because some of you are sitting here you're like, man, Deshone, this is great. I'm not going to remember all of this. How can I get all of this in one spot? Get your copy of my brand new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. That is part of my multiple marketplace strategy of how we get quality used cars below market value. My resources are in there, and you can get your copy for 75% off as part of our launch. Click my tick. Now, you only got 30 minutes. If you visited that site, you saw that timer. Once it gets to 0, price goes back up to $97, which is still a great price. If you missed it, yeah, listen, I missed it, but Deshone, I need this information. But if you get there before the timer, go to my Instagram bio, you get your copy for $24. Okay? This one's from YouTube. What are your thoughts, pros or cons on buying a vehicle in your business name? So there's a lot, oh my goodness, who's seen this? It's a lot of information out there, y'all. You got to be able to discern. It's a lot of bad information. Now, here's what I'll tell you. If you got a business where you're going to be transporting, where you're going to be using the car for business purposes, we've had tons of people. When I worked at Mercedes, they got commercial lines. Tons of realtors came and got Mercedes in their LLC. When I worked for General Motors, they got pickup trucks. They got commercial vans. Tons of people coming and putting cars in their business name. They were using them for business. What we have a world right now where people want to make viral videos saying, put your car in your business name, but they're not going to be there when you get audited and you're writing off $400 or $500 car payments and you're not using the car for business. So let's get that out the way. Now, if you're using the car for business, you can simply shop, get your best offer, and then when they ask you whose name is it going in, it's going in my business name. You do a business credit app, and you personally guarantee the loan. If someone's teaching you how to get cars without personally guaranteeing, then go learn from them. And I always say, combine, because they overpay for cars. I've never seen people that overpay for cars like business people putting the cars in their business. They just say, doesn't matter what you charge me as long as I can get it without signing for it. So you still need to pay the least amount for the car. But if they're going to teach you how to get cars in a business name without personally guaranteeing, go and learn. But yeah, that's what I have experienced. That's what I have experienced. It's not better. And you should be talking to a business accountant when it comes to, whether an LLC or C Corp is better for your company. Many people don't have a business. They're just starting an LLC hoping to get a car in the LLC. If you got a real business, then you can pursue this. Call the accountant. What's the best structure? What's going to save me the most in taxes? Make sure they're going to give you the usage. But other than that, and watch these videos you listen to. Watch these videos. Well, they will have you audited and they won't be there. Yeah, but the influencer told me, let me pull up this video for you though. Sir, I'm not interested in seeing that. Can you just show me how much, can you just, show me the proof of what you did with the car this year? Yeah, but he said I could. No one cares. They won't be there. They won't be there. Go ahead, shoot the next one in, Dolan. All right, this one's from Facebook. And we're bringing questions from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. We'll try to get through as many as we can in the hour. Why do dealers try to sell you a used car starting with the MSRP and not what it's worth at the present time? Because their goal is to make a lot of money. They're serious about what they do. See, you may have been taught not to take the car purchasing process seriously, not to take learning the best way to save money on cars seriously. If you did, then you're as serious as them. When I get a car, when those who, we've been very fortunate. 2021, I've worked with over 1,700 people personally in my video library. We've had, in the last, my first book, 52 Car Buying Questions, we had thousands of copies of that out. But there's millions of people that buy cars. So we're fortunate that we've been able to help people who know these strategies and use them, but it's still a very small part of the market. But the people who learn from me, you're just as serious about saving the money as someone is about taking your money. You can't get mad when a wolf bites you. It's your job to come in with the rod and say, okay, no, I'm good. I'm prepared. And if you're going in with old strategies and you're going back and forth with a dealer, it's like dancing with a wolf. Yeah, I think I could dance with this wolf and, avoid him. I'm pretty good. This is a professional person who does this 3-4 times a day. So when you start shopping the way I'm telling you to shop, no one can take advantage of you because you're shopping from home. 90% of your used car deal is done. When I got that Infinity truck I was telling y'all about, I was in there for 30 minutes. All I did was test drive the car. I shook the person's hand. I said, get it ready. I'll come back. I had my own financing. I said I gave the dealer an opportunity to see if he could beat it. He couldn't. And that was it. I'm not coming in. If you're learning from me, you are never going to talk numbers inside a dealership. And when you say, somebody said, I wish I had a dad for things like this. Look, I'm sorry you don't have a dad, but God sends you who you need. But sometimes, I'm here. I've had tons of women that wrote me and said, man, you know what? My dad used to take me car shopping. He's no longer here. You're my person now. Amen. Amen. You have it now, but are you going to act on it? Are you going to act on it and use it and win? Or are you going to stay in old bad habits of, car shopping the way people have been shopping for the last 30 years? Before there was internet, people was walking in the dealerships going back and forth. Internet came, people walking in dealerships going back and forth. Looking on the website, all right, I think I got anything, let me go in here, go back and forth. No. Internet came out, I found out I didn't have to go into Walmart to get a TV. I didn't have to go into the electronic shop. I sat right here and I use these tools. That's what I'm teaching y'all. The tools that exist right now so you can sit at home and save thousands of dollars, whether you are a great negotiator or not. Won't matter. Won't matter. All right, go ahead. Shoot the next one up, Dolan. All right, let's go. This one's from Instagram. I keep hearing that used car inventories are rising. How come prices on used cars aren't falling? What I'm seeing in the last couple questions is, for someone who doesn't know how to shop, there's no deals around. Look, we've been doing deals since and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give Felicia's deals for one of my broadcasts because I started our video library, which is the video version of my book, years ago, 2021, November, middle of the pandemic. People overpaying by thousands, 5-10 grand over sticker price, like dealers just cleaving people. You may have experienced that. You might have got one of those offers and had to sign it because you thought you had no other option. So when I started this, Felicia came in, started getting bids. First one to ever use what I taught. Got a BMW X1, brand new, saved $1,950, January 2022. That showed us deals. We've been making deals ever since. I don't broadcast them a lot, but in my TikTok bios and my Instagram bios, deals ever since. But for the person, if you don't know how to shop, if you're using what I'm telling you, you're going to see deals everywhere, getting bids. You're going to realize 80% of the dealers are overpriced. That's what they're supposed to be. We don't try to change the 80%. We expose the 80% through multiple offers. I don't go in and look at I just told you, we talked about below market, average market, above market. We're not trying to turn the people who sell cars above market and market value into the people who sell below market value. We're not. We're identifying below market offers by looking at multiple options. It's my two favorite words. And the more you learn this, when you use this, because this is not hard. This is 60 to 90-minute car deals. What you've been doing of going in and spending days in dealerships, multiple visits. Let me go back. I'm going to talk to them, see if I get another $50 off a month. All the deals that you're going to see here, look, this is Charles. Nope, Let me show the used car deal because Yankee fan asked about a used car. Look at this. Pierre just got a Mazda CX-5, saved 20% off the original MSRP 2022. Very big thanks to Deshone, educating and empowering me to control the entire purchasing process. You hear how he talk? Sound like me. Empowering me to control the entire car buying process. Use the perfect budget calculator. That's a calculator I invented that actually you get in my book. It's too much in the book for me to mention. It's a digital book, but everything I teach is in there, as well as calculators that I've invented. It says, really helped me figure out what I could realistically afford. And with the true value percentage calculator, true value is how much I'm getting off the original purchase price. We call that TVP, true value percentage. My Infinity truck, it's 3 years pre-owned, 54,500 brand new. I bought it for 31.8. I got 42%, the true value percentage. These are terms that I created because what we do, it's never existed. So you're not going to hear stuff you've heard because literally I created it and we made it real by thousands of people using it. So it said 20% off MSRP. This is Vincent. Vincent got a 3-year-old Lincoln Corsair. He said, I found a deal at 43% off at a dealership. He said, my target was 30 to 35%. So he went in knowing what the new car prices was on the car. He used our system, the multiple marketplace system, found a deal at 43% off original MSRP. That's how you know you got a great deal on a used car. For those of you who are going to be buying used cars, if you don't know the new price, there's no way for you to determine. And that's how some people got in trouble all through the pandemic. You paying $29,000 for cars that were $30,000 brand new. If you knew true value percentage, you would have looked and said, okay, wait, the car's $30,000 brand new. How are you charging 29? You wouldn't even have been there. But because no one has known and they look on websites and it says good deal, great deal, bad deal, and they're using algorithms to tell you that, people went in and they overpaid. Must know true value when it comes to used cars. But there's deals out here. They've been out here, Yankee fan 201. You just got to change the strategy. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll keep getting the same result. And we know that. That's the definition of insanity. Change what you do, change the result you get. All right, go ahead. Shoot the next one in, Dolan. This one's from TikTok. My car got stolen. Insurance is saying they want to fix it, but it's not in good shape. How do I get them to pay out? Your car got stolen. So, okay, so you got it back. Insurance is saying they want to fix it, but it's not in good shape. Isn't that the point of them fixing it? I don't really understand. You might have to add some more to that. It's stolen. It's not going to be in good shape if they damaged it when they stole it. Now you're going to put in a claim. That's why you have insurance, so that you can have whatever damage was, and you're paying your deductible. So you're not paying, if it costs $5,000 to fix, you're not paying $5,000, you're paying your deductible, and the insurance is fixing the car. Unless I'm missing something there. Go ahead, shoot the next one in. All right, here's another one from TikTok. What credit score should you have to use the 1.5% rule on leasing? Fair credit is good for leasing, 670 and up. If I couldn't qualify for a lease, my only goal would be to qualify for a lease, to get my credit where I could qualify for a lease. It's just too much money at stake. I have a 3-year lease that's finished in June. Is it possible to negotiate on the buyout price? No. I haven't heard of it. I'm not going to say no, but I haven't heard of negotiating on the buyout price. Buyout price is set from the day you lease the car. The bank knows what they're looking to get the car back for, what they're looking to sell it for. So, no, I've never seen a case, but I'm not saying it can't be done. I just have never seen it in my experience. And why would you buy the car? Because here's what I want you to be. Give me 1 second. Send up. We'll do William's question next from Facebook. But to everyone who's heard of something called Lease-to-buy? Type a 1 if you've heard of something called Lease-to-buy. Lease-to-buy. or if you've ever done a lease to buy. Okay? All right, I see Mike, I see Ray Ray, I see A. Marie. Okay, Miguel said I never heard of it. Okay, it's a horrible thing in most cases. The only time it makes sense is if you're keeping because here's what you're doing when you're buying your lease. The real question is not, should I buy my lease? The real question is, should I buy a used car or should I lease? You've already had the car for 3 years, leasing it. Now you have an option. The option is I could buy this vehicle. I'm not going to go into detail about how to make sure that's a good price. It's simply just comparing to the price of a comparable used car on the market. But if you buy your lease, you're buying a used car. That's all you're doing. So when you're saying, should I buy my lease? That's not the question. The question is, should I release a car, go shop for another lease, or should I buy a used car? Now, the downside about buying the used car, which is your lease, is you've already had the car for 3 years. Most people, to afford the lease buyout, you need to take another 6-year loan. So if your lease payment was $400 a month, usually when you buy your lease, to have a around about $400 a month payment, you're going to need a 6-year loan on the balance. What is 6 plus 3, everybody? We got some very smart people on here. What's 6 plus 3? Come on, I told y'all, keep your hands by your keyboard. That's it. 9. Good job. Would anybody in here sign up for a 9-year loan on a car? Same car, signing up to pay for that car for 9 years. Look, bunch of no's. Bunch of no's. Never. That is what many people are signing up for. Now, if you keep it, you can possibly, if you keep it for 11 years, you could possibly get some of that back. It's almost impossible. But when you trade in the car and you sign up, you buy your lease, you already paid for 3 years, you sign up for another 6-year loan and you trade it, because most times you get tired of the car. You're like, man, all right, I've been in this car for 5 years. I had people walk in the dealership. This was what they did. Been in the car for 5-6 years. Said, you know what, man? All right, it's time. I find out that they bought the lease out. They still owe a ton of money on it because there's still 3-4 years of payments left. You've been in the car for 5 years and you're like, man, all right, let me go replace it. Hey, you still owe $20,000. You still owe $8,000. Oh, Dad. Buying your lease out is one of the worst things that you can possibly do because it's just agreeing to too many payments on the same car, unless you just plan on keeping the car for 8 years. If you say, rare case, and cue up the next question, Dolan, you can put it up now. It's my last sentence. If you say, Deshone, I leased the car. I just fell in love with that car. I want to keep that thing until the wheels fall off. I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to just have it for the next 10 years. Then buy the car. You fell in love with it and you're like, man, I want this car for the next 10, 12 years, then you can buy the lease. If it ain't that, it's one of the worst things you could possibly do. All right, William from Facebook said, I've been looking at a brand new 2023 Lincoln Aviator. It's been on a lot for months. You already lost me. Let me tell you why. We don't identify one car. If that dealership's at an 80% dealer, there's no way that we could get great deals on it. We don't identify, we don't lock in. Cars are cookie cutter. Cars are cookie cutter. That means whatever that car is, there's several of them around. There's no unique cars. This is an assembly line. Bloop, bloop, thousands coming into the Northeast, going into the Southeast, going into the Midwest, thousands. So when you look at a car, you have to see that like I see it. New car, used car, doesn't matter. There are hundreds of this car out there. And I need to make sure I connect with enough dealers to know, because you said 69,000 has been on there, they're asking, what happened if somebody else has a similar car and it's not selling for them and they're willing to give it for You don't know what rebate there is in there. You don't know, maybe Lincoln gave them a $5,000 rebate on old Lincoln, and maybe they're not discounting the car that much. Maybe they got a $5,000 rebate and they're only discounting the car $1,600. You don't know. And so that's why we stay at home. New cars, leases, we get multiple offers. You could do it my way, which is in my book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's a digital book. Be in your inbox. You cannot talk, and you can use my email scripts and templates. We connect with 25 dealers online in 20 minutes. We're going to get 5 to 7 offers. Or you could do it your way, and which is a manual way. It's not even your way. It's a manual way. And you can call several dealers. I would ask for the sales manager, and you try to get 5 quotes. Either way, you need to get at least 5 offers because you have no idea what the best offer is. You saw it. We talked about this about 20 minutes ago. I showed you how much money Sean saved. I showed you how much money Kimberly saved. They saved 20 grand. If they would have got excited about 10 grand, very important. If they would have looked at an offer and said, Dad, this deal is taking 10 grand off of me. Man, this sounds too good, man. I got to sign this. They never would have got 20. You can't assume what the bottom is for a vehicle. That only comes through multiple offers. Everybody clear? If everybody's clear on that, type clear. If you're clear on that, this is for new cars and leases. The way we shop for new cars and leases is to reach out and get at least 5 offers. Once you do that, because you're never going to see how much money is on the line until you do this. Once you start doing this, I had somebody email me, said, man, Deshone, I just started doing this. I made a couple phone calls. I got 3 grand better than my first offer. I said, see what I'm telling you? See, multiple offers is how we buy everything. All I'm teaching you to do is buy cars the same way you buy everything else, the same way we buy every other product. And if you notice, the way you've been buying cars is not the way you buy anything else. You don't walk into stores and say, hey, come on. You don't do that with anything else. And I'm telling you, you don't have to. They've made you think you do, but you don't have to. You can sit right at home and control your car deal and have multiple people bid for your business. And that's what my entire book is about. Car shopping for people that hate car shopping, 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. Why do I say avoiding dealerships? Because not only do I want to save money, I don't want to be in the dealership for more than 30 minutes. And I've leased 4 cars in the last 10 years, 3 Infinities and a Jeep. I've bought this Infinity truck. I have not spent more than 30 minutes in a dealership. Not only that, anyone who's learned from me has not spent more than 30 minutes in a dealership. It doesn't take that. So I don't want you to be like, yeah, Deshone, I used your stuff and I was in the dealer for about 3 hours. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't use my stuff. When you use my stuff, you're in and out of there in 30 minutes, tops. All right, so you can get your copy for 75% off as part of our book launch. In my TikTok bio, there's a website there. And in my Instagram bio, there's a website there. And just click that button. You got 30 minutes, though. If you visited that site, 30-minute timer started. Once it goes to 0, it's back up to $97. But you can get it for $24. And if you're on YouTube or Instagram, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can scan the QR code or you can go to deshonesbook.com, which is on the screen. All right, come on. We got time for a couple more. Go ahead. Cue them up. We'll try to do these last couple ones quick as possible, Dolan. Go ahead. Shoot the next one. And everybody getting value. If you're getting value out of this broadcast, can you type $signs? If you're getting value out of this, this is what we're going. Listen, I love doing these. Make sure when you talk to your coworkers, you tune in. Make sure you learn this stuff. This stuff is worth thousands to you. Nothing that I talk about will ever be hundreds. I'm not telling you to none of this is hundreds per month. But all right, this is from TikTok. How do I negotiate purchasing additional mileage after the lease agreement? Typically, they have a structure for that. If you're going to purchase additional mileage, you can call a leasing company. I know as long as, like I think I remember BMW and Mercedes, they used to let you do it as long as you weren't within like the last 3 or 6 months, and they just charge you for the mileage. I think they charge you, 15, whatever it is. It's a set thing. You're not negotiating it. You're just calling to add more mileage. Yeah. Go ahead. Next one. I'm gonna knock out as many of these as possible in the last couple minutes. Go ahead. YouTube. This one, bro, says his book is 75% off every time I see this live stream. And each time I go his website, the book is $100, no discount. Even when he claims to resend the code, it's $100. Sketch. It's your fault. You missed it. You missed it. That's an introductory offer. You missed it. It's not there anymore for you. Next question. And unfortunately for you, you're going to not pay $97 and you're going to overpay for cars because I can just tell by the way you talk. Send me your car deal. Remember him. Send me your car deal. Next car deal you make, send me the paperwork. I love to talk about it on the show. Be a learning experience for everybody. YouTube, got the book. I'm looking for a 3-year-old pre-owned car. Should I be looking for a 2021 or 2022 if I'm looking to buy this year? So when it comes to newer used cars, you don't typically see them. I'm gonna tell you why. There's only 2 ways dealers get used cars. Somebody trades them in, or they come off lease. Average lease is gonna be 3 years. So you're not going to see many 2-year-old cars because not many people buy their car and go trade them in 2 years. Not if they're financially wise. You don't want to do that. So you typically have a harder time finding a 2-year-old pre-owned car than you do a 3-year-old pre-owned car. Now, in the case of I would still look. I'd look at a 2-year-old, see what you got, and if you can find something that is within the budget, 2 years old, then I would do that. I don't go older until I see that I can't find anything in the budget, and then I'll go older by 1 year, or I might include and start out looking at 12,000 per year average miles driven. You don't want to start expanding mileage or expanding going back older in years unless you have to. And each time you go back, you should see more inventory. You can start for the 2022. And another thing, one thing before you go to the next one, Dolan, I don't recommend looking at 1-year-old pre-owned cars. I'm gonna tell you why. Or even 2-year-old pre-owned cars before you see what the price on a new one is. Because you don't know how much, and I've had Julie is a perfect example. Let me see if I have her. I don't think I have her stuff here. I don't. Wait. Hold on. Let me see if I can tell you about Julie, because Julie asked me, she said, do you think I should buy a new car? She was looking for a 1 or 2-year-old used car. I said, Julie, she said, how much should I be saving? Now remember, we don't know how much a great deal is until we have comparison offers. Thanks, Big and Brown. Enjoy it. Use the book. Enjoy it. Said I bought the book. Shout out to everybody who bought the book. If you bought the book, type I don't know. Just shout out to everybody who bought the book. Use it and win. She said, and I told her, I said, look, if you don't have a lot of used cars out there, which you won't if it's 2 years old, you don't have enough offers to be able to compare. I said, shop for a new one. Use the offer. You have no idea what the new market is. And so if I could save big money on a new one, then that tells me how much I need to save on the second one, on a 1-year-old one, on a 2-year-old one. Now, if the discounts on the new one are not big, then maybe, I'm not, because she's like, okay, it looks like with a used one, I'm saving like $8,000 off the new price if I get 1 year old. I said, shop for a new one. She ended up getting a better deal shopping for a brand new one than she thought she would get buying a 1-year-old one. So whenever you're buying something that's relatively new, 1 or 2 years old, I always tell you, shop for a new one first. You never know. It could be tons of rebates. You could end up like, there's people buying that same Maserati or that same vehicle that Sean got, or the same Maserati that Kimberly got. We showed their deals earlier. If they don't know that you could save 20 grand off a new one, how much do you think they're expecting to save off a 1-year-old one? Not much. But if I could save 20 grand off a new one, and this is different with every car, this is why I'm telling you this. If I don't know I could save 20 grand and I have no idea, that means for a 1 or 2 year old one, I better be saving 30. If I could get a brand new one, no miles, first owner, 20 grand off, and that's the market for the new one, then if I'm getting a 1 or 2 year old one, I need to save at least 25, 30. Does that make sense? Type makes sense if y'all are getting that. This is only for the people who are like, Deshone, I'm thinking about buying a 1 or 2 year old used car. I don't want one that's too old. You need to shop the new market first. Now, once you shop the new market, then you can shop the pre-owned market, but you'll have something to compare it to. Got to know what you can get a new one for, or you'll overspend for that 1 or 2 year old one. All right. Preston said, got the book. Oh, we already read that. All right. Let's go throw another one in. Go ahead. Throw another one in. Let's go. TikTok. How do I negotiate purchasing a deal? All right. We already did that one. All right. I think, okay, another one. TikTok. I'm going to look at new Audis this weekend. Plan on paying cash. What kind of things should I ask? How long are you keeping the car? How many years are you keeping the car, Miley MK? Miley MK said, I'm going to look at new Audis this weekend. Plan on paying cash. What kind of things should I ask? How many years you keeping the car? We never talk numbers in the dealership. Remember that? You're there to decide if you even want the vehicle. That's what we're there for. See, I have something in step 4 of my book. You'll hear me talk about this. It's called shopping, not buying. We don't buy, and I don't even think he's on here because he's not answering. But for those of you who have a similar question, let's break this down. When you go in to look at a car, if it's a new car or a lease, you're there to test drive, and that's it. That's all you're there for. We're never going to talk numbers. We are never going to talk numbers in the dealership. Our deal is made from home. New cars, we make our deal through getting bids. We accept the bid from home. Many of you, you're going to have your new car delivered, which means 100% of your transaction will be done from home. Sometimes the dealer that wins the bid, they don't deliver. And so you're going to go pick it up. 95% of your transactions done from home. Buying a used car, you're using those marketplace strategies that we talk about. That's in my book and that I went into detail with. And then you're finding your best deal. You're verifying fees. You're doing all of that from home. By the time you get to the dealership, the only thing you're doing is test driving the car and you're locking the deal up. Deal is done from home. We are not going into dealers looking for a deal, to make a deal. Our leverage is at home. That's where we can talk to multiple dealers. That's when we can get multiple options. You have no leverage inside a dealership. You're going to get emotional. Some of you are, and you're going to be like, oh, and you make a mistake, you overpay, and you can't compare. So we are only there to test drive. That's what you're there for. Go drive the car, see if you like the car. If you do, get a card, come home, get offers from home. That's it. And when you do this, you'll start enjoying the process. See, sometimes people say to their children, hey, y'all, hey guys, I got some exciting news. This weekend, you know what we're gonna do? What, Daddy? We're gonna go out and we're gonna look at cars. You know, we need a new car, and we're gonna go, and I got 3 cars. We're gonna go and we're gonna test drive this one. I want y'all to see in it, make sure y'all feel good in it, and then we're gonna go drive this one, then we're gonna go drive this one, and then we'll come home, we'll talk about it. Oh, that sounds like fun. Oh, that's great. That's great. Now you go there, you're test driving, sticking to the plan until Dad gets looped in. Hey, you know, we got incredible deals today. You know, today is our big sale for the month. Oh, really? What kind of sale? Well, the owner said, you know, we're way behind our goals. So he basically told us this morning, anybody who comes in today, like, we're not turning away any reasonable offer. Oh, wow. Okay. You know, I was planning on going to look for some other cars. Is this something that'll be here like after the weekend? Actually, the owner said it was only today. In fact, he said we was going to sell 10 cars. We already sold 7. So, you know, once we hit 10, he's not going to be as aggressive anymore. Oh, man. Okay, son. Now your kids are sitting over there. They're by the door. Dad, remember we were going to see the next car. Wait, hold on 1 second. But you know, what type of deals you think we could get? 2 hours, 3 hours later, taking the car home, not going to get your best price. You got sucked in. That'll never work for you if you. That'll never work on you if you just follow. And some of you, you're quiet. And some of you quiet because you're like, dang, Deshone, that was me. That's how I did my last car. With better strategies, you get better results. What I want you to understand is that the old way you've been taught to shop, I want you to completely unlearn that. Scrap it, throw it out the window. There's no guesswork when you're using what I'm telling you. It's going to be a much better experience. You're going to save much more money, and you're going to have price assurance. You're not going to leave with your car. Hope, look, Ray said that was me, my last 3 leases. So that's called discounting the purchase price. That's called discounting your shopping experience. You're about to make a $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 transaction. Some of you, you should not be discounting your shopping experience. Shopping is deciding what you want. That's your test drive. That's looking at options. That's, you know, but we're in and out for 20, 25 minutes and we enjoy it. We do not let anybody talk numbers over at a dealership. If you stick to that rule, you'll enjoy it. They'll be trying to catch you. You'll be dodging them like Floyd Mayweather. Say what you want to say about Floyd, man. He can dodge and dance. They'll be like, man, can you just sit down? No, I mean, can I get you 5 minutes? 5 minutes. No, actually, I'm in the car already. Honey, start the car. Hey, but I appreciate your service. Hey, can I get your car? Because if we do like this, we'll reach out to you. So we'll reach out to you and give you a shot. Okay, you sure, man? We got great deals. It's no problem. Don't believe the games, y'all. So unlearn it. All of this is in my book. I want you to use this process. It's normally $97, but it's part of our new release. It's 75% off. It'll be in your inbox. That's part of my multiple marketplace strategy. This is when you're in control. This is when no one can force you. You don't have anything to think about because you're not talking. Everything's done by email. So you can have my book, your copy, in your inbox, in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, 75% off for 30 minutes. Get your copy for $24 and use this stuff. All right, Jack said, I got the book. Wonderful. Good, good. Does the book give you a one-on-one phone call with you too for $24? Absolutely not. And I don't do one-on-one phone calls with anybody. No disrespect. I've been blessed. I can help thousands of people. That's what I do. I help lots of people at once. Your situation is not unique. As much as you think it's unique, there's hundreds of people, many on this particular broadcast, that are in the same situation as you. So being that there's no unique situations, there's no reason for one-on-ones. All you got to do is just use the process, trust my process, and get offers. And last thing before we leave, this isn't building a rocket ship. Getting multiple offers is something that is not hard to do. You just haven't been in the habit of doing it. This isn't something you got to say, oh, I hope this works. You're not doing an experiment here. You're getting multiple offers from lots of dealerships and you're seeing lots of options and you're picking the best one. I'm just giving you a system to do that in 45 minutes. See what I'm saying? So this isn't like, oh, okay, all right, I hope I don't fail a test. I'm going to school and then I got to learn this stuff and then I got to take a test and I hope I don't fail. No, this is literally multiple offers. And once you realize the simplicity of it, you'll be like, Dad, how wasn't I shopping like this before? That's how it is. All right, so grab your copy. Shout out to everybody who shared. Shout out to everybody who jumped on the broadcast. Use it. I'll see y'all in the next one. A lot of good questions today. Have fun today. I'll see y'all next time. And welcome, welcome, welcome. So yes, as I just said, we will be going over the 7 steps that you will use to save money on cars every single time. You know, these 7 steps are predictable. I don't care what situation you're in. I don't care if you have negative equity. I don't care if you have a lease that you're replacing. I don't care if you have no car. These 7 steps, if you use them, you will always make sure you miss none of the money in the car deal. So shout out to the sharers. Could everybody, as you come in, hit that share button, and let's get into it. Send your questions in, and we'll get right to it. As you send your questions in, let me start with this. The first step is the most important question. A lot of people say, Deshone, what's the first thing I should do? Or what's the, I'm trying to get a car. Most important question is buying versus leasing. I know a lot of you, some of you, you've been programmed to, that makes your skin crawl. Oh, leasing, I never lease a vehicle. That's costing you money. That mindset right there, whoever you got it from, you need to give it back to them. Because they never explained it to you. They probably just ranted to you. And if you don't understand leasing, I'm just telling you, it's bad news. You've lost thousands of dollars already. It's not that you're going to lose. You'll continue to lose if you don't understand it. But as long as you stay with me and you understand, you really make up your mind that I'm not going to believe bad information. I'm not going to believe information somebody told me and been telling me for 10 years, and they never told me why. They just said, don't do this. We are not that generation. You're not going to rant at us. So let's see. What's up? Good to see you, Alchemy Elegant. I used to sell for 2 dealerships. Okay, good. Good for you. Leasing is perfect for us. See, so I'm glad we're starting to see more people who understand. And the more and more people who understand, the more they're going to tell people, and the more people are going to understand. But we still got a large percentage of people in the world in the country who have no idea about leasing. They've been taught by many financial advisors that they should never lease, and that's costing them money. So we're looking to set you free from that. If you purchase a car when you should have leased it, there's no way to get a good deal. Deshone, what you mean by, I'm telling you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you could save all the money in the world on the car, but if you purchased it when you should have leased it, you're going to pay thousands more than you could have paid. And so as y'all ask questions, you'll see me constantly referring to these 7 steps that you can get. All of this is in my book. My new book is 75% off. It's a digital book. You can get it in my TikTok bio and my Instagram bio. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. And you can get it for 75% off in my bios, or go to deshonsbook.com, or click the link or scan the QR code. Why can't I see the comments? I can't see the comments on Facebook. Are we good on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube? Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're good. All right. So let's see. Help. I'm into my 4th year of a 4-year lease. I'm a senior and need advice. Thank you. Lease is up March 2025. Okay. So first things first, you're never going to do a 4-year lease again, because it eliminates some of the benefits of leasing, which is a new car every 3 years. Car is usually always under warranty. So we don't do 4 years. We're paying too long on a vehicle, we're giving back. The key with a lease is to make sure you're only paying a small percentage of the car's value. If it's a $40,000 car, we only want to pay 18 grand, 15 grand, 20, not even 20. You don't even want to get to half. You don't want to get to half. And when I told y'all about the 1.5% rule, the 1.5% rule helped you see, if you add up all your payments, if 1.5% means you're paying too much for a car you're giving back. Whenever you're shopping for a lease, it's not about the monthly payment. It's about the total of the payments. It's about the total of the payments. So yes, we want the monthly payments to be low, and if we get great deals, they will be. If you shop around, do not believe these commercials. Do not believe a website or a commercial. Those are not deals, y'all. Those are not deals. I want y'all from now on to just ignore them. All right? Can type an I if you will listen to this. Here's why. Great deals are never going to be advertised. Never. Great deals are when the dealer barely makes any money. They make a little bit of money. Sometimes they lose money. That's a great deal. Dealer makes a little bit of money, or they lose a little money. We ain't putting nobody out of business. I'm here to tell y'all that you will never see commercials plastered all over and billboards advertising deals where the dealers make a little bit of money. It's not going to happen. So when you see these advertisements, you'll notice they're always with thousands and thousands of dollars down, no taxes, no fee. So pay no attention to those. The only way, y'all, that you will know a good lease deal is to shop for it. It's the only way, because they're not going to advertise it. And so when you shop the way I'm going to teach you to shop, where you're at home and people are bidding for your business, you are going to see that the deals that you're going to get are thousands below what those commercials say. So the first thing I want you to do, miss, with the 4-year lease, let's go to our system. I want you to look at my notes. I broke down each step for you in my 7-step process. Step 1 is the most important question, where we're deciding should we buy or lease our next car. It's the foundation of our car deal. So the first thing you're going to be doing as you bring financial literacy into your car purchase, could we shoot the TikTok likes up? Could y'all, as you come in, just keep tapping the screen? Shout out to everybody. We already got about 300 people on here between all the platforms. So could y'all just keep typing the screen and shoot those likes up? So the first thing that you're going to do is decide whether you're going to purchase a lease. It's paramount, because that's the foundation of your car deal. You save the most money by being on the right foundation. We talked in a different broadcast I did about how the long-term purchase is a winner. If you keep your cars 8-10 years, type me in the comments. If you're somebody who you keep historically, doesn't mean all the time. Thank you, Optima. But if you historically keep your cars 8, 10, 12 years, type me in the comments. Okay, I see you, Christy. Now, the other side of the coin is the people who who lease. Short term, you win, because you're going to pay such a small amount for the car. It's just, you never put the money in the car. But the middle ground is what we want to get away from. So if you put your deal on the wrong foundation, you purchased, but you should have leased. You leased, but you should have purchased. There's no way for you to get your best deal. It's over. You've made a critical error. So let's just say now, y'all got new information, you're moving forward, you're like, Deshone, okay, that's step 1. I'm going to decide if I'm a long-term person, which is an 8-year person. We talked in other broadcasts about depreciation. This has nothing to do with whether you're paying cash for cars or whether you are taking loan. This has everything to do with the depreciation of a car. 8 years is when you purchase. If you're keeping your cars 8 years, you purchase them. If you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you're leasing them. So that's step 1 in the book. That's step 1 in my process. Step 1 in how I teach. Now let's go to step 2, equity assessment. So, young lady who asked the question, she says she's a senior. I'm calling her a young lady, but she says she's in a 4-year lease. It's up in 2025. So now you've already decided you want to lease again. So step 1, check, done. Step 2, equity assessment. We must analyze the equity in our asset. If you have a car right now that you're replacing, if you have a car that you're driving, some of you want to hold on to that car. I don't usually recommend it unless you're a high mileage driver. I know some people like to have, or unless you, because, you know, having a car and not using it is like, for what? But let's just say you're going to replace your car. Now, you got to realize, y'all, your car is worth a different amount to different people. I want to let that sink in. Let that sink in. The car you have, the lease you have, who didn't know you could sell a lease? Type H for honest. So you got to be honest. If you want to win with me, you got to be honest and say, you know what, Deshone, I didn't know that, but now I know, and we're going to do better. If you didn't know you could sell a lease, that's already cost you thousands of dollars. What you're doing when you're dropping your lease off to the dealership or to a dealership, when you're trading your car in, some of you have been in the habit of trading your cars in. you're not maximizing the value of that asset. What you're doing is you're saying whatever it's worth to the dealership that sold me the car, I'll take it. That's what you're saying. If that car is only worth $18,000 to them, but to another buyer, to CarMax, it would have been worth $21,000, you lost $3,000. If it would have been worth $22,000 to Carvana, you lost $4,000. If it would have been worth $23,000 to Driveway, you lost that money. So equity assessment means we're going to use the buyer market, and we're not talking about private parties. We're not talking about, y'all remember back in the days, if you wanted to make more money for your car, you listed it privately. Could everybody who's into financial literacy tag somebody or hit the share button? I'm very interested in moving forward with the people who are into financial literacy. We cannot do this mission of reaching people without you. And I appreciate when y'all hit that share button or you tag somebody. And not only do I appreciate it, they will appreciate it. Hold on. I just lost my volume on the iPad. Hold on. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me on TikTok. I know y'all can hear me on the other platforms, but I might have just lost my volume on TikTok. So how do we do the equity assessment? Hold on, I'm waiting for confirmation for TikTok here. Can y'all hear me? And is the volume still good? Let me know. Oh, we got a couple hundred people on here. Somebody type fast. All right, thank you. All right, so the equity assessment means we're not going to a private party. There's a couple steps in this. There's 3 different types of equity assessments. I break all of this down in my book. You can get it for 75% off. You won't leave the broadcast, but don't miss your time to get it for 75%. $97 is still great. We've gotten dozens and dozens of reviews for $97, but I want you to get it for 75% off. Go get it. So there's 3 different types of equity assessments. One equity assessment is for those of you who have a car, you own it, or you have a loan on it. If you didn't know that you could sell a car with a loan on it, I'm here to tell you, you can. Some of you may have thought, man, I got to wait for the title to come. No, you don't. And I used to have people come into the dealership and say, hey, Deshone, what's that car right there, man? And I'm like, that's the new E-Class. When I work, if some of you don't know me, you might just be seeing me. I worked in the car business for 14 years, 4 years my own brokerage, 5 years Mercedes, 5 years GM. So I get people come in and say, Deshone, man, that's the new one. That's the 20, whatever. I'm like, yeah, it just came out. He's like, all right, I got 3 more payments on mine. As soon as I pay it off, I'm coming to get that one. That's a person who thought, like, what? There's no benefit to you waiting. There's no benefit. First of all, you should be leasing because you're just buying cars, paying them off, trading them in, always having a payment. But outside of that, you don't have to wait for the title to trade that car and sell it, or, So some of you may have thought that. You can. So one equity assessment is for people who have a car you own. Second equity assessment is for those of you who have a car you lease. Third equity assessment is for those of you who have a car you lease and your bank put a third-party restriction on that lease, which means they limit who you can sell to. Very important. They don't limit you selling. They don't limit you selling. When y'all hear me pause, that means you got to sit and let that sink in. Because many of you may have saw you had a third-party restriction and you said, man, I'm done. I can't get my equity now. I got to buy it and then I got to resell it. Problem with that is when you buy it and resell it, you pay taxes and fees on it, which comes out of your profit. So if you would have had $5,000 in equity, when you buy it and you pay the taxes and fees, you're going to lose probably $3,000 of that, maybe more. So how do we get around that? First things first, with a standard equity assessment, you can sell to anybody. With a standard lease, if you don't have a third-party restriction on your lease, you can sell to anybody. And here's who you should be getting your cash offers from: CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, AutoNation, Kelly's Blue Book instant cash offer. kellysbluebook.com is trash. That's a marketing website. I see y'all lighting up the likes on TikTok. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody coming through on TikTok. I see you. And so kellysbluebook.com is a marketing site. They are not going to pay cash for your car. They will tell you your car is worth 20, but then when you go to instant cash offer, Kelly's Blue Book, they make you a cash offer for 18. But for years they sent you into dealerships trying to, Jay, my Kelly's Blue Book said my car is worth this. Well, but Kelly's Blue Book doesn't buy cars. So you want to go to Kelly's Blue Book instant cash offer only. So last one, Vroom's out of business. We used to give Vroom an opportunity, but they're out of business now. Last one is Car Gurus, Sell My Car. So between you could do We Buy Cars USA too. So now that's going to get you 6-7 offers in about 20 minutes. Very important if you have a lease. When they ask you, is your car leased or owned or financed, put owned. Trust me, the more you follow me, if you read the book, I'll explain it later. I don't have time to explain why you're going to put owned. I've explained it in other broadcasts. Don't put that the car is a lease. If you don't have a third-party restriction, you can sell to anybody, but their websites don't know that. Now you're going to call your bank, and you need to know what your payoff is. If you own your car outright, there is no payoff. So whatever the offer is yours. That's step 2. If you have a third-party restriction, then you're going to sell to a dealership. But you must get bids. How do we save so much money? How do I teach people around the country to save so much money? Besides the process, when it comes to negotiating, you've never heard me teach y'all any negotiating skills, and I never will. The biggest negotiating skill that I teach is how to negotiate one-to-many. When it comes to how I help people save thousands of dollars, look at this young lady here. Look at this young lady here. But look at Greg. Greg got a $56,000 car. He's paying $527 a month on it. Like this person here on a new Toyota, they got and they leased it. The Toyota, they purchased it. They got the car. It was $41,000. They got it $2,086 under MSRP in a market where people are paying list price, still paying over MSRP, paying fake fees. They saved $2,086 from home. Not in the dealership battling, in home, talking to their family, having dinner, lunch. They're saving $2,086 off a Toyota Camry. So it's a $36,000 car, 37. So anyway, how? One-to-many bids. And when you step into the world of getting bids for the cars you want, getting bids when you sell your car, not trade, and getting bids for your loan from banks and credit unions, you're going to see where all the money's been hidden. So that step I just broke down for you, young miss, who you said you're in the last year of your 4-year lease, you go and do that step before you do anything else. And if you have a third-party restriction, you're going to call, you're going to speak. I have a script in my book. All of this is in my book. You can get it for 75% off. If you got your copy, congratulations. You're about to save thousands of dollars on every car, because leasing is in there, purchasing is in there, new cars, used car, high mileage drivers. Get it for 75% off in my Instagram bio or my TikTok bio, or you can scan the QR code on the screen, or you can go to deshonebook.com. So that's what you do. When you call your bank and get your payoff, if they tell you you have a third-party restriction, here's what you're going to do now. You are going to call local dealerships that sell the same brand as you, and you are going to talk to the used car manager, because the used car managers want to buy your cars. You're not going to talk to a salesman. Everything that I'm telling y'all is super important, and you can't skip steps or say, oh, I know he told me call the dealership. No, I told you call the dealership and ask for the used car manager. This is what's in my book. If you don't want to remember it, this is what I've helped hundreds of people do. We get our equity if it's there. Not everyone has equity. Let's be clear. But if you do have equity, you need to take the action to get all your equity, not some of it. So once you get 4 or 5 bids from local used car managers, you'll see who's going to pay you the most, and that's who you're going to end up selling your car to. But you don't sell immediately. You put that on hold, and then you move on to the next step of the process because you still may need to shop for your car. I know that's what some of you are thinking, Deshone, well, I can't sell in my car if I haven't found my replacement. If you don't need a replacement, you're just selling an extra car, you cash out, you sell. But if you need a replacement, you want to put your buyer on hold. Those guys, CarMax, Carvana, Driveway, they will be there in 30 days, 60 days to pay you for your car. I sold my lease back to a dealership for $6,600 with another dealer offered $3,400. Thank you, Adam. That is what you call multiple offers, partner. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That is what you call, see, think about if Adam didn't have a second offer. How much did he leave on the table, y'all? $3,000. So many of you, the money you've been missing is in the fact you deal with dealerships in the old-fashioned way. You do this one-to-one back and forth negotiation, and you never get a chance to shop the market to find out what the true value is, what the true discounts would be. And that's what's killing you. That's what's killing your ability to save the money you should be saving. So that's what's in the book. That's what I teach in my videos, bidding. We're done with one-to-one negotiations. The people that learn from me, Greg, you just saw, the person anyone who you ever see that says, Deshone, I use Deshone's 7 steps. No one's doing one-to-one negotiations. It's all bids. And they're following that system. So that's what you do first. Don't worry about anything else, but never do a 4-year lease again, ever. Make the dealerships fight for your business. Exactly, Larry. Very well said. Make the dealerships and the banks and the credit unions, none of these people are our friends. Does not mean they might not be friendly, but anyone who has a vested interest in making money on you, it must be treated as a business relationship first. You earn the business first. Friendship, because the minute you don't earn my business and someone else beats you by $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, we're not friends. So let's just keep it business. And when we turned our car salesmen into our friends, we gained a friend, but we lost the ability to save thousands of dollars and know we are saving the most money every time. Sorry to tell y'all, many of you, who's had a car salesman they purchased, be honest, who has a car salesman they purchased from at least 3 times? Anybody on here? I see you. Good to see you, Optimum. I'm glad you got your copy. Enjoy it. Use it. Don't read that book. Use it. Who has a salesman that they have purchased from at least 3 times? Okay, couple people. Who has a salesman they purchased from at least twice? Same salesperson. At least twice. Okay, a couple people. So what you're going to see is that relationship's going to change if you use what I teach. When you step into the bidding system, you saw anybody who's used the bidding system, even if they haven't used it, even if they didn't do it my way, we're going very wide. Even if they're getting a couple bids, couple offers, you saw Adam got another offer, he saved $3,000. The relationship's going to change because what you're going to see from the salesperson who wants you to just keep coming to them, if they want to fight for your business, then the relationship won't change. If they want to say, listen, whatever you get, give me an opportunity to beat it, match it, whatever, or hey, here's my offer, that's different. But if they're not willing to, when you see that some of these dealerships are going to blow their offer away, that's going to have you open your eyes and say, Dad, wait, how'd you let these other guys, I've been dealing with you for 10 years. How'd this other dealership beat your offer by $2,000? Now you'll start to count and say, dang, I wonder how much I overpaid by just continuing to buy from the same person without shopping them. So that's what we do. Shout out to the sharers, shout out to the people tagging, shout out to the people who helped this. Listen, and I'm telling y'all, some of you who've been following me, you know, I do stuff for the people that help me. That's what I'm big on. Like I'm always come and get the information, but those of you who actually share, who tell your friends, who text this broadcast out to people, trust me when I tell you, we're going to find a way to do it. I don't know what I'm going to do for y'all, but I'm going to figure out a way to reward the sharers because, you know, and inbox me if y'all have any ideas. I'm totally open to it because the people who share the broadcast are probably, you know, it's just a different level of, you know, I want to see this information get out there. So good to see you. Gigaworks got the copy. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Do we need the book if we already purchased the No, Katie, no. Katie's in, I have so everything that I do, I have multiple versions of it. So would y'all see my social media videos? All that is all the 7 steps, but they're just broken down and they're all mixed up. You can't really, there's no continual step-by-step path. In the book is a written step-by-step path, but I also have a video library that has a step-by-step path, same thing from the book. And then, you know, Katie, you're in the video library. You don't need to get the book. No, you don't need, it's just redundant. Yeah, it'll come, Optimum. And if some reason, sometimes people put in a letter in the email is a little different, check your spam. But we deliver these books throughout the day pretty much, well, every day. So just check your inbox and make sure it's there in the next 10 minutes. If not, DM me. We'll check the email. We'll make sure it's right. We'll get you your copy. All right, twice. And when I got, okay, so Good Time said twice. And when I got in for oil change, they don't give you the time of day. You know that? See, she said, so I bought from the same person twice. And when I came in, you come in for your oil change, it's like they don't know you. That's why let's get rid of the relationships. There's no relationship. The reason why, if you ever had that happen, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at the situation. She said, I bought, you know, 2 cars from the same person. And then when I came in for the oil change, it was like they barely remembered me. That's a clue. It's a business relationship to them. It's not a friendship. We're not hanging out. We're not coming to the barbecues. Our kids are not hanging out with each other. It's a business relationship. And and when I'm trying to earn your business, I'm all for, hey, I'm your friend. I want to know about your family, your hobbies. What do you do after that? Hey, it's on to the next person. So being that it's an act, being that it's a show for business, then what I want you to do is just do the same thing. Just do the same thing. Treat it as business. Stop letting people turn your car purchase into some type of relationship. Treat it like business and you will start to save money like it's business. When you treat it like it's your friend, you're not saving the money. You're thinking about, oh, it was a good experience. He was so nice, but how much money did we save? You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? 2 things can be true. You can be a nice guy and you're trying to overcharge me. Or you could be, not that you don't seem like a guy that I want to hang out with, but you made me the best offer and you beat everybody else's business. We don't need friends selling us cars. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you. Yeah, hit that like button. Appreciate y'all. And make sure you subscribed on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you're following. He did. Second time he ripped me off. Sorry to hear that. All right, so let's keep the questions coming. Let's keep the questions coming. I'm trying to see which question we're going to go with because we're getting them from all the platforms. Deshone, how do I get past this situation? The car I was buying, the owner died. No title, no plates. Okay, you were going to purchase a car from a private party, I'm assuming. The owner passed away, no title. Okay, if there's a loan on the car, the bank's going to figure it out, I would think, because somebody owes the bank money. If the car is paid off, then it may not be that hard. The car may end up in, will it go to probate? I mean, if it's an asset that the person owned and they passed away, then I guess it would go to probate. But it's really going to come down to if they really own the car. Some people out here with no title, they don't really legally own the car. it's in their possession, but they don't legally own it. If they legally own it, then you're probably going to have to wait for, but still, unless you have something in writing, there's no proof that they were going to sell it to you. So what they may want to do is sell it on the open market. It's going to be a little tough. Unless you can stay close to a family member or somebody who's going to be involved and say, hey, I was just about to buy this car, because they probably don't want to be bothered with the car, honestly. They probably don't want to be bothered. So if you can stay close and let them work out the legality and the paperwork, maybe you can still end up with it. But yeah, that's all I got. In-house finance. I don't know. In-house finance. How are you going to buy a car? Then who is the owner? Okay, I think because you're not. This wasn't from a dealership. If it was an owner who passed away, then it was a private owner, right? Somebody you either knew or you found on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, let me know. You should open up your own dealership. I would. How would listen, Michelle? Let me tell you this. The reason why I would never do that, because what I teach is a bidding system. It's not a relationship system. You want me to open up a dealership because you kind of like the way I do things. You kind of seem like, oh, this guy would be honest if he ran a dealership. Doesn't mean I can win the bid all the time. Nobody can win the bid all the time because they're going to be out of business. You can't win the bid all the time. So what you want to do is I would never, even if I had 1,000 used cars, it doesn't mean that those 1,000 cars are priced less. If I got a 2018 Honda Accord, it doesn't mean that there's not a 2018 Honda Accord out there that's less than mine. So because I'm going to teach you how to get bids, I would never go into the dealership business because relationships are over. Get out of wanting relationships. Please get out of one. Like, I'm an advisor. We're building education. So you could have a relationship with me from an educational standpoint. I don't have a car to sell you. But the people who have a car to sell you, please, if your money depends on this, y'all, get out of wanting or needing a relationship and keep it business. You got friends, be friends with your friends, not your car salesperson, because again, you'll be good if he wins the bid over and over again. But the minute he loses, I've had people who say when they started using my stuff, the relationship with their car salesperson or their broker that they had changed because the broker, these people don't want you making them compete. They're like, hey, we friends. What do you mean? We're friends. But you're not shopping all these offers for me like I'm going to do, like Deshone's teaching me to do. You're not teaching me how to see the whole used car market, like one big marketplace, how to look at all these websites, all these used car marketplaces and pick my car and narrow it down and pick the best one and the best value and know what the price of the car was. You're not teaching me all of that. You're just saying, hey, I got it. Let me handle it. And that's the stuff that's costing you money. These people don't want to compete, but we make them compete. That's how we say it. All of this is in my book, y'all, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's a digital book. You can download it immediately. I'll tell you in a minute why it had to be a digital book. It could not be a print book. One of the biggest reasons is I can't update it quick. If all of y'all was buying a print book from me and you're like, Deshone, this is great. Now Vroom goes out of business in January. Now what the heck am I going to do? That's one of the things I got in the book is when we sell our car, we're selling our car. One of the people we get bids from is Vroom. Now Vroom's out of business. I got a million books in print. What am I going to do? What does that mean for you? That you just paid, you got your book, you're using it, you go to Vroom, it says we're no longer in business. So one of the reasons is I could update on the fly. If Vroom went out of business, I went into the file, team updated it, book got updated. Everybody who had the book, when they opened the new file, there was no Vroom there. So that is what it's about. Get your copy in my TikTok bio. Get your copy in my Instagram bio, click the link, the website, or go to deshonesbook.com or scan the QR code and make sure it shows the 75% off price. As long as that timer hasn't expired, you still got time to get it at the 75% off. All right. I bought your book when it first came out. I'm upside down on 2022 Corolla by about $6K. Now, which book? Because I've written a couple books since 2021. My first book was 52 Car Buying Question, Smart People Don't Ask. This one is car shopping for people that hate car shopping. So if you have that book, if you have the new one, then you got it. It's updated. It's updated. Just go use it. Follow those 7 steps. Don't skip the steps. And the end result is guaranteed. Thousands of people have already saved money. Thousands gotten their best deal using the book. But I need to make sure which one you have. I like to get a Tesla. What should I do to get the new one? So the thing about Tesla, y'all, thank you. I appreciate it, Henry. The thing about Tesla, who's anybody interested in a Tesla? Type T. New one, a brand new one, not a used one. Anybody interested in, anybody in the market for a brand new Tesla? Okay. So here's the part when it comes to Tesla. Tesla sets the price. So that part of the bidding system, what is the bid for? Why are we bringing a bidding system to our car purchases? Instead of trading, we get bids and we sell our car. We get cash offers, we sell. Instead of just going to one bank, we get bids from multiple banks. What's the goal? To make sure that we get the bottom price. Make sure there's not a company out there that would have sold us the product for less. Make sure there's not a company out there that would have paid more for our car. Tesla sets their price. So that part of the bid is irrelevant. That part of the bid is non-negotiable. Who I'm buying my car from is non-negotiable because they already set the price. But you still have 2 other steps. You still have 2 other things to get bids on. You still have the equity assessment. If you're replacing a car, you need to get bids. And you still need to do the bank bidding war. If you're getting a loan, you want to get bids for your loan. So 2 things still apply depending on your situation. If you're paying cash for a Tesla and you have no car to replace, then it's easy. You just go in, place your order, and then you get your car. If you're leasing a Tesla, now that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. Because you need to be able to judge whether it's a good lease deal or not. Many people out here, and you're in leases that are way over 1.5%. You're paying way too much money for these leases. I get 50% off MSRP on Tesla cars. I work for Tesla. So you're telling me an $80,000 car, you're buying it for $40,000. Okay. I'm on from Michigan, turning my lease in this week. Need advice? Well, follow the steps. If you missed the first part of the broadcast where we were talking to a young lady who has a lease that's expiring next year, and I broke down, you can see in my description that I have 7 steps that we go through to make sure we get all the money in our car deal. We save all the money we're supposed to save. And step 1 is to determine whether you're buying or leasing. Step 2 is your equity assessment. We went over that. And that's when we're going to, before you, because you're about to return that lease. It sounds like by the way you're talking, you already have it set up to return that lease. But if you haven't analyzed the equity in that lease to make sure that there is no equity that you can cash out, then you are losing. You are absolutely losing. So what I would tell you is rewind the broadcast. If you catch it on Facebook, if you catch it on Instagram, if you catch it on YouTube, rather, you should be able to rewind the broadcast and catch that equity assessment, or you could just download my book right now for 75% off, and you'll have it right there step by step. Because if you have returned a lease over the course of your life and you did not do an equity assessment, there's no telling how much you gave back. Maybe you didn't give, but I'm gonna tell y'all who really gave back money. Anybody who returned a lease in 2020, 2021, 2022. Those 3 years where cars were worth $7,000 to $12,000 more resale value, if you just returned your lease, then the money you lost should be so painful, you never skip a step in the process that I'm trying to teach you again. Because I'm telling you flat out, we had people putting $7,000, $10,000, $12,000 in their pocket. Some of you may have. If you cashed out during that 3-year run with high resale values, type a $, because I can tell you, me, myself, personally, I sold my lease for $8,900 at the end of it. I helped my mother sell her lease. At the end of it, she got $10,200 after she drove it for 3 years. And me personally, helped thousands of people, talked to hundreds on my pages who personally said, D, you helped me make $7,000. D, I sold 2 leases and I made $12,000. So if that's you, okay, we got a couple people who you've cashed out. So you cannot ever again drop off a lease at a dealership without assessing the equity. That's always the first thing you do. Forget about the car you want. Forget about the car you want. We'll get to that step later. Equity assessment first. Oh, I lost out big. Infinity got me. Yes, I'm sorry to tell you. You don't know how much it was. We can't guarantee you had equity. But over a 3-year period, almost every car had equity in it. Almost every car had equity in it at the end of the lease. Karita said, actually, in the next 2 weeks, I was going to buy, but since I travel with work, I decided to lease for the next 3 years. So, Karita, the only decision, listen, y'all, who wants to know beyond a shadow of a doubt every time whether they should buy or lease a car? The reasons that I hear are not good reasons. What do I mean by that? That's not a good reason to lease a car. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't lease. You said, since I travel for work, I decided to lease. Here's when you decide to lease. I'm not keeping the car 8 years. In my book, I talk about something I created called the 8-year rule. The 8-year rule says if you're not buying a car long and keeping it 8 years, then you should be leasing. But you need to get a great lease deal. That's not just that don't mean just walk into a dealership and say, yeah, lease me the car. No, it's not that simple. But the foundation of it is based on depreciation. The car you purchase, not lease, the car you purchase is going down in value like this, daily. If your car is going down in value, if you sell during this period, you lost. Now, after about 7 years, you're going to see that it cools off, which means your car outside is worth $9,000. A year later, it's worth $8,500. It's not losing that much value. A year later, it's worth $8,000. You're on the low scale of the depreciation curve. But that takes time to get to. Those first couple years, you're losing value like crazy. Now, if you buy used, you're not losing as much value, but you are still paying more than someone who got a great lease deal. And not only are you paying more than someone with a great lease deal, you're driving an old car, they're driving a brand new car. So no matter what the guideline is, I want you to ask yourself this question. And everybody, when I ask you this, I want you to type what your answer is. How many years are you keeping your next car? Your next car. See, this is step 1 in the book. I laid out the 7 steps for y'all. And when you use this, you're going to see, I see why Deshone had me do this. This is where the real money is. Step one, get the book, 75% off. Go to my TikTok bio, click the picture of me, click the picture of me on Instagram, click the website, and get your book for 75% off so that you can have this resource and this knowledge in your daggone holster for every single car you and your family need. 75% off. Or you can scan the QR code, go to deshonsbook.com. Okay, so if the answer what I just asked you and what you just answered is what I call the most important question. The most important question. And we're still, I can see some of the questions. We're still, some of you are getting it. Some of you are like, okay, yeah, that's simple. It's called the 8-year rule for a reason. Most important question is, how many years are you keeping your next car? If it's 8 or more, you purchase. If it's less than 8, you lease. Nothing else matters. Only exception is if you're doing Turo or if you're renting your car out from a business standpoint. Other than that, everyone else, that is the rule. It's called the 8-year rule, not the 8-year option. It's a rule. I've already done the math based on resale. If you get great lease deals, it takes somebody 8 years who purchases to catch up with you. With the lease deals that I teach people to get, shopping multiple offers, getting bids, it's going to take a person who purchases 8 years to catch up to your value. So it has nothing to do with nothing else. And look, Optimum, you got the book. You're outthinking yourself. You're not outthinking me. You need to trust me until it doesn't work. And then you could start bringing your stuff. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. It doesn't matter the car. Everything that you're saying, you're outthinking your own deal. Realize, I've been doing this 14 years. If I was coming into real estate and you've been doing it 14 years, good. Not just 14 years. You've been doing it 14 years, good. I ain't coming and looking to say, all right, well, I think if I should do this market, you think I should work with rentals, and I think I was going to work with rentals and do this, and I could work both, and I was going to do this, and you're going to tell me, look, nah, that's not going to work. You're telling me based on 14 years of what you've seen, done, saw people try, the same way I'm telling you that I'm going to try, and you could confidently tell me that ain't going to work. Here's why it's not going to work. So the simplest thing is to just say 8-year rule. And then when you go after that and you pursue it and you get your lease deal following what I teach, you do that math and you'll see, now it all makes sense. Look at what I'm paying. Look at what I'm driving. I could have never gotten this if I would have went over here and purchased. Look at this young lady right here. Look at Danielle. She got an Audi lease. I'm putting up on the screen. Y'all can't see it on TikTok, but on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, y'all can see it. Look at Danielle leased a Audi A3, $44,000 car. Do y'all know how much that car would be if she purchased it? No money down. No money down. $44,000. How much is every $5,000 on a car? Every $5,000 on a car is how much per month, people? I know we got some people on here who've seen that. You got to know it. How much is every $5,000 on a car is how much per month? Yep. Thank you, Chandra. $100 per month. Good job. So that's on a 5-year loan. Where's my phone? Why is my phone ringing? Okay. I'm like getting like a vibration on my seat, but I don't have my phone. Okay. So when you look at what Danielle's paying, based on the fact every $5,000 would be $100 a month, that car would be $900 a month. That's why you're getting stuck in high car payments. That is why you're getting stuck in high car payments. This same car that she I didn't tell you what she's paying yet. If you see it on the screen, you can see it because she posted it in our Facebook group. That same car would have cost her or you $900 per month to buy that Audi A3. She's paying $550. What's better, y'all? 900 or 550? What's better, y'all? 900 or 550? Do we even need to ask? So Danielle doesn't need any convincing that the lease was an incredible value. Now, let me give you a different scenario. Let's say she had purchased that car. Let's say she purchased it. Let's say she's a long-term person. She's going to keep that thing until the wheels fall off. 10 years, no problem. Pay your car payment, pay off the car, get to the point where the depreciation has slowed down, and then sell it whenever you want to. But you can't do that in 5 years. You can't do that. You can't put all that money into the car compared to someone who's leasing. You get what I'm saying? It's always a comparison. Always a comparison between purchasing and leasing, because someone who's leasing is out here who knows how to get great lease deals. I ain't talking about just walking in, signing a lease. If you don't, hold on, let me know if y'all can hear me. TikTok might have went out. Sometimes I get the audio goes out. So that is what oh, somebody said, does the 8-year rule apply to high mileage drivers? Great question. Great question. If you're a high mileage driver type HM, Tony said he drives 20,000 miles per year or more. So let me put my book banner back up. So in case y'all, for everybody who just jumped on, you can get my book at 75% off. Just scan that QR code. Yes, it does. This is a great question. So high mileage drivers are losing more than a lot of people. If you drive more than 20,000 miles per year and you don't keep your cars 8 years. See, let me tell you how the 8-year rule applies. A lot of people think I'm partial to leasing. I'm not. I am as 50-50 as it could get, because it depends on how long you're keeping the next car. If you see a car and you love it and you're like, man, I'm keeping it, that's going to be my car till whatever, you purchase that car, because you're going to win in the long term. But I have to be very, very strong in how much I tell you that those of you who are not keeping your cars 8 years have lost money, thousands, every single car, by purchasing them. Every time you buy, you resell, you trade in 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, you are losing thousands of dollars. You're paying all this money for cars that's not coming back to you. And a person who leases is never putting that much into the car. Somebody like Danielle, she's only giving them $550 a month for a $45,000 car. In 3 years, she's going to go and she's going to do something else. So what you get for your money, the value on a great lease, can't be measured. It's incredible. But let's stick to the high mileage drivers now. So high mileage drivers, if you're a short-term person, you're answering that you're not keeping the car 8 years. If you are, that's okay. Buy a Honda, buy something that you know is going to last. Do your research. I have this step in my book that I teach where we Google to make sure, we use Google to check the longevity records to make sure a car is going to go 200,000 miles, 300,000 miles. And as long as you got a car that is going to go that long, you just drive it. Just drive it. So if the 8-year rule is always the first question. That's always step one. It doesn't matter how much you drive. You could drive 40,000 miles a year. 8 years, that's 320,000 miles. Find you a car. If you use my strategies, I'll help you find a car that's going to have that type of life cycle. And then you just put the mileage on it and you just keep driving that thing. There are people out here who do that. But where it comes into play where you don't understand leasing and it's costing you thousands is if you're not keeping the car 8 years and you're doing that kind of mileage. I would see people come into the dealership all the time, especially when Uber first started. You would see people come in and they had 250,000 miles on like their Honda. Young, usually young, not always, but, and they're trying to do this business, trying to get, man, I'm like, they're trading in the car, but they still have 3 years left on their loan. And I'm like, man, you realize your car is like 250,000 miles, your car ain't really worth much. Even though it's not that old, the mileage has just killed the value. And they've gotten these long loans. Now, first person I saw with a high mileage lease is when I worked for Hyundai. I worked for Hyundai for 6 weeks. The owner ended up going to jail. He was just, it was like a highway store. It was like the definition of, I was like 6 weeks. I walked out of there. I gave them their key back to the car they gave me. I said, you know what? This is not for me. Thank you. But I did have a chance to see a guy who, I was a manager there. I took a management position. It was fun for 6 weeks, but then it got real like sleazy. So he came in. He had 75,000 miles on his Hyundai Sonata, and he was returning it as a lease. And I said, you leased this? He said, yeah, I've been leasing. He said, I'm in sales. I'm always on the road. He might have said I used to buy, because I would think most people who started out doing this probably found out the hard way that buying their cars was costing them money. And he said, look, I started leasing. What I do is I get a 25,000 mile a year lease. And then every 3 years, I bring it back and I just get a new one. And I'm like, that's amazing. Because I'm like, that's $150, $200 more per month. It's not $600 more a month. It's not $1,000 more a month. To go from a standard 12,000 mile a year lease to 25 or 20 or 30, it doesn't cost more than you're losing when you buy. When you buy your car and you do your 20,000 miles a year, think about this. I'm still talking to you high mileage drivers, but this is not, I'm not just talking to high mileage drivers. I'm talking about the 8-year rule. I'm talking about leasing versus buying. That's what I'm talking. We're talking about the foundation. So high mileage, somebody asked, does the 8-year rule apply to high mileage drivers? I'm answering that question. When you buy and you put 20,000 miles a year on your car is losing thousands of dollars in value, whether you drive it or not. If you don't drive your car and you go out a year later, it's worth thousands less, isn't it? Right? Agree? You don't drive your car, you park it outside, you go outside a year later, it's worth thousands less than it was worth, right? Put the average driver on there. You drive 12,000 miles a year. You go out, it's worth even less than the person who didn't drive it 1 mile. Now let's take the high mileage driver. You put 20,000 miles a year or 25,000. That car is becoming worthless year by year. You're just killing the value. So that extra $150, $200 you would pay on top of a phenomenal lease offer is going to be the best peace of mind you got. You ain't got to worry about resale. You ain't got to worry about what am I going to get when I go and trade this thing in, or when I try to sell it and replace it. Am I going to have negative equity, a ton of, and I know you high mileage drive. I know everybody on here because I've been in this situation for so many years and I've dealt with all the different, all of you tend to have the same questions. There's only about 20 different questions that all of you could have. That's why you benefit from listening to the broadcast, because somebody will ask the same question and you like, Dad, that's the same situation I'm in, right? Because there's not 200 different questions in the car purchase. There's about 20 different types of people, situations, and those are the questions. Those are the questions. So all we do is answer those same questions for different types of people. That's what's in my book, all there. But in my book, I have 2 strategies for short-term high mileage drivers. You could get my book by clicking the TikTok bio. As long as that timer didn't expire, you could get it for 75% off. Click my Instagram bio, Get your copy immediately. It's a digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It breaks down my 7 steps, step by step. You can scan the QR code or go to deshonsbook.com. So 2 strategies for high mileage drivers. You can either do a high mileage lease, 1 car, or if short-term high mileage drivers, I want to preface that. Or you can do 2 cars, a strategy I call 2 cars, 1 payment. So with a high mileage lease, you typically think about the salesperson that I just said, right? He comes back, he has 75,000 miles on the car. That's not typically a car he's, going out to dinner with, it's my work car. It's my work car. Some of you, that's fine. And some of you are like, Deshone, I want a nice car. I want a car that I could actually have. Some people say, Deshone, I want my work car and then I want to get me a luxury car. But I don't want to put 25, 30,000 miles a year on a luxury car. So they use the 2 cars, 1 payment strategy. And what that is we buy our first car, or if you have a car already, you don't replace it, you pay that car off, and now that's going to become your mileage car. So let's just say you're putting 30,000 miles a year, 25,000 miles a year on a car, you now pay it off, it has 120,000 miles on it. Now what you do is you go lease your new car, and now you have a brand new car that is your nice car. Still got 1 car payment because the other car is paid off. Now what you're doing is you're putting 12,000 miles a year on your car you leased, or 15, whatever you want to structure it, 10. You can structure that mileage on that lease any way you want based on how much you're driving overall. And then the mileage car, you put the other 12,000, 15,000 a year on. So the mileage on the mileage car is going to slow down because you're splitting the mileage now. And then you don't need to get a high mileage lease because you're splitting the mileage between 2 cars. So you got your mileage car and you got your nice new lease. And what you do is you stick with that strategy until the mileage car dies. One day the mileage car is going to die. And once the mileage car dies, you go and you buy another car and you start the process over. You go buy another car and you pay that off in 4, 5, 6 years, and then you do the same thing. But this is how you can be a high mileage driver, 30,000 mile a year person, and not be killing cars, have a nice car, or a high mileage lease in a case where both of those strategies save you probably $8, $10, $12, $15,000 over what you're currently doing with this buying cars, trading it in. Every time you trade in the car, you got 20 grand of negative, you got 15 grand of negative equity. High mileage drivers, your negative equity positions are some of the worst we're ever going to see because you're depreciating your cars. And the only way that you avoid those penalties is to do something even more foolish, financially foolish, which is to give them a huge down payment. Because some of you will say, well, I put 15 grand down, I don't have no negative equity. But where's your 15? You know what I'm saying? Where's that 15 at though? You ain't getting that back. That money's gone. So you done threw more money at the car that ain't coming back to you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I just leased a 2024 Chevy Silverado, MSRP 55K, 36-month term, 10K, nothing down, $400 a month. I think it was a good deal, under 1%. That's a steal. We call under 1% a steal. Hold on. Anytime you get a lease, we go by 12,000 miles a year. 10 is okay too, but everything we do, when you use my book, you're going to see when you it's in my videos too. Listen, y'all, I'm not the person who says, get my book, everything, because I'm holding back from my videos. We've been blessed. Our following has grown tremendously over the last, I came to social media really May 2021. So to be about 3 years, we're about 2 million people over all the platforms. I think we're over 2 million now. So that doesn't come from holding back. The reason for the book is some of you want it all in one spot. You can be on here now and see that Deshone has strategies for all different types of people because there's all different types of people on here with me right now. You might be a regular lease person, But on here with you is a person who purchases. On here with you is a high mileage. You see a bunch of high mileage drivers. So when all of you are going through the social media videos, you're going to see, oh, he talking about high mileage here. Oh, he talking about leasing here. Oh, he talking about paying cash here. So deciphering through all of those videos, for the people who don't want to do that, get the book. It's all there in one spot. You got it for life, and it's step by step, and you can use it. It's based on your situation. So if you're not leasing, you're not reading anything about leasing. If you're not purchasing, then you get what I'm saying? So that's what we do. That's why the book has been great for people who don't want to just cycle through all my videos. But I don't hold back in video. No way. So get your copy in my TikTok bio, or get your copy in my Instagram bio. Click the website. As long as that timer didn't go to 0 yet, you still could get 75% off. Go to deshonsbook.com or scan the QR code. All right, I was actually thinking about that way. Hold on. Okay, I missed that. Why do we care about all of the fees if we lease? We don't care about the fees, Stephanie, on a lease. It's different when you're shopping for a lease, because what we do when we shop for a lease, we only care about two things. Very important. Monthly payment, MSRP. Monthly payment, MSRP. And as we get bids and offers, we always get at least 5 offers. I have a strategy in the book called the 25 to 5. You're going to connect with 25 dealers online. That's going to get you 5 to 7 offers. Those offers are going to be dramatically different. Those offers are going to be about $3,000 to $5,000 minimum apart. So you're going to see some offers for $450, and the highest offer might be $625. Same car. That's when you know you've shopped correctly. But the only two things we care about is MSRP, monthly payment. So as we're getting our bids, we always ask the dealer, and I have this all in templates, all in emails. You copy and paste my templates, or you could do it your way. As long as you do it, you'll be fine. You can, you're always getting your quotes, 12,000 miles per year, first month's payment, total out of pocket. You don't want to use the words money down. Remember this. If you're not getting the book, remember this. If you got the book, you don't need to remember this because it's in the book. You don't want to use the words money down, because money down always implies plus, 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 plus. Down payment plus tax plus fees. We want to use the term total out of pocket. Total out of pocket is hard to misconstrue. So when we're requesting our quotes, we're always using first month's payment, total out of pocket. We're doing it for 12,000 miles per year. And then once we start looking at those offers, we're looking at least 5 of them, because you're not going to save the money unless you get at least 5. You're not going to save the money with 3. You're not going to see all the money with 5. This young lady right here, she saved $20,000 off of her Maserati. I'll show you right here. You can't see it on TikTok, but y'all just gotta get on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube, because I can't do everything on TikTok that I could do on these other platforms. But you see Kimberly right here. This was her quote. She posted it to our private Facebook group we have for the people that I work with personally. Look, $86,000 MSRP for a Maserati, $86,961. Look at the total savings. The selling price was $66,261. Total savings $20,700. We don't assume savings. You can't assume $3,000 off is a good deal. $1,000 off is a good deal. We don't know what the bottom is until we look at all the bids. The bottom is all the bids is going to tell us what the lowest offer is for this car we're shopping for. And it's different for every car. The lowest offer for a Jeep Grand Cherokee is different than the lowest offer for a BMW X5. That's different than the lowest offer for a Maserati Ghibli. They're all going to be different. So we must get the bids. Now, once you're getting your offers, you take the MSRP. You take the monthly payment, you divide that into the MSRP. And if you want to turn it into a percentage, you multiply it by 100. So I'll give you an example. Let's say a dealer quotes us $500 a month, and the MSRP on that vehicle is $45,600. and then we multiply that by 100, that's 1.09%. The percentage is what tells us the quality of the deal. If it's under 1%, we call that a steal. 1% or less, that's a steal. That's not a deal. That's not a deal. 1% lease deals don't come unless there's a great lease program and we got a huge discount. We're going to get a huge discount. That's not going to change. But the lease program on top of the huge discount is what puts us at 1% or lower. But a good deal is between 1% and 1.5. That's a good deal. 1% and 1.5. I just had to turn back on Do Not Disturb. So, do y'all see how we're much more intentional than you've been taught to be? Why are we saving this kind of money? I have 1,400 people in my private Facebook group. We've delivered probably 5,000 to 6,000 books. We've gotten, more testimonials, people writing me emails. I use this, I just used the book, here's my deal, people posting in our group. How are we saving this kind of money? How are we moving with the confidence of purchasing from home? Like, we're not even in dealers more than 30 minutes. How? We're much more intentional than you've been taught to be. You've been taught that, hey man, hey, look, I remember people used to come in the dealership, man, Deshone, man, I just was going to Home Depot and I thought, man, I just pop in here. They end up with a car. Because if you came in for a car, I realize you want a car. I'm not going to talk you out of a car. I'm not going to tell you this is unwise. I'm going to try to make the best offer that I can to you, and we're going to get it done. But you got to realize, my man, you were going to Home Depot, and now you're making a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 transaction. If you didn't run into somebody like me, bro, I feel sorry for you, man. Somebody could have taken your head off, because where do we do that at? Where the heck do we come in? There's nothing in this world. Can y'all name me anything? We got probably 400 or 500 people on all the platforms right now. Y'all name me anything in this world besides a car that we go out and we make a $40,000 decision in a couple hours. Just name anything. Is there anything? Right? Look. The chat. Look, all these people on here, the chat is quiet. Because you like, no. Because there's nothing out there. So the way we do it, when you start using the science, these 7 steps to get your best deals from home, you're going to find you're not in the car dealership more than 30 minutes and you're only there to pick up your car, or you're only there to test drive your car. That's in step 4 of our process, which is called shopping, not buying. We've been taught to mix the two. We've been taught that those two are the same. They're not. Shopping is deciding what you want, not buying it. That's why I call step 4 in our process shopping, not buying. So shopping, we decide what we want. We're out there test driving. When we're buying, we can't do this with a used car, because with a used car, we can't test drive it until after we found it online, verify that it's the best car, best value, most savings, no bogus fees. Now we go there, we test drive it, and we take it home. No one's going to ever waste our time. Using this process, you don't have to ever walk away. You follow what I'm telling you. Look, when people tell me, Deshone, if any dealer pull that crap, I'll just walk away. Listen, well, that sucks for you. Because when you walk away, all they do is talk about you. Well, listen, they still need a car. This car going to sell whether they want it or not. That's okay. You wasted your time. I don't want you wasting your time. I'm glad that you're not taking bad deals and you have enough fortitude to get up and walk away. But I'd rather you be in a position where you never were there. If I'm in a dealership, I want you to be, if I'm here for one of 3 things: to test drive my new car or lease to see if I like it. I'm here to sell my old car to the used car manager, get a price on my old car, because I might have a third-party restriction on my lease and I'm here to have him give me a number on it, or I'm here to pick up my car. That's it. That's it. If it's a used car, I'm test driving it. I've already searched the whole market. I already know how this whole market is. I already know that this is the best car in the market. I'm here to test drive it, take it home if it's, and I'm test drive it and lock up the deal. Other than that, we ain't in these dealerships. That's what I want for you. Stop spending the time, the hours, the days visiting, coming back. Hey, I'm gonna go back, see if I can save any more money. No, sit right here in your house and watch the money come off. Watch the money come off. How's the 1% to 1.5% rule calculated with zero down? It's just the cost of how much you're paying, how much is coming out of your household over a 3-year period. It's pretty simple. It's just how much is coming out of my household in a 3-year period. What is the lease payment? 1% of the 1% rule on leases has been around for decades. Way before I even got in the car business, the 1% lease rule was out. I just kind of made it official. And then I added the 1.5% rule to say, this is the point. Because I saw people, I start making these videos on leasing and people was like, yeah, I'm going to get a lease. They're going to walk right into a dealership. They're going to put them into a lease that is better than, because this is how good a lease is to a short-term buyer, to someone who's not keeping. Even a bad lease is better than a purchase. Let's go back to this young lady's deal here. Let's go to Taupe. Let's go to Taupe to accentuate, to show y'all this. Taupe, $690 a month on her BMW. Taupe, she got a, where's her MSRP? $54,000. So let me show y'all how dealers could put you into somebody who's never leased or doesn't understand leasing, or some of you who's like, Deshone, you're right. I've been buying my cars. I've been, trading them in 3 years or 5 years, or as soon as I pay them off. And then I'm never happy with how much they give me because I'm just like, dang, that's all I get back after all these years. Some of you are going to be like, yes, leasing, that's the answer for me. You go into a car dealership, look at Taupe. Now, Taupe shops. She uses how she shopped her multiple offers. She saved $7,500 plus an additional $1,000 in discount, $7,500 for the electric car rebate. And so she gets $690 a month on a $54,000 car. Now, to purchase that same $54,000 car would be about $1,100 a month on a 5-year loan. Y'all know every $5,000 is $100 a month. To purchase it on a 6-year loan might be about $1,000 a month. So somebody could walk into this dealership and say, hey, I want a lease. And they show them a payment of $825. And then they show them the payment if they purchased it of $1,100. And they're going to be like, wow, I could save $300. I could save almost $300 a month by leasing. Let me go ahead and do that. They don't realize, though, that when you add up your payments, when you add up those payments, $800, $825 times 36 months, that's $29,700. That's more than even that. That might still be under 1.5. Hold on. Yeah. See, and that's how much. See, I took a payment that was $140 more than the deal Taupe got, and it still was a better value than purchasing. That's why it's up to 1.5. She got 1.26. But even the one, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, I added up all the payments, it came out to $29,500. Now, if you buy a BMW, $54,750 with a loan, taxes and fees, you're probably up, whatever. Once you take off the rebates and all that, the depreciation on that car is going. You don't want to pay half. That's the key. And what there comes a point in time with a lease, if you pay too much on your payment, it'll still be less than a purchase, but you're paying half of the car's value in 3 years, or even more than half. And there's tons of people, if you add up all your lease payments and you look at the MSRP, you're going to be like, dang, I paid more than half. And I'm giving this car back in 3 years. That also happens with 4-year leases. You're paying you're paying more than half of the car's value, and you're giving it back to the bank for them to sell and make more money. Yep, absolutely. I don't want to waste my time either. Yeah, time is just as important as money to me. So this is hold on, let me take this banner off and put the book banner back on. So if you are like Deshone, this is great, like a system for car buying. We don't wing it. Obviously, like I said a couple minutes ago, you can watch my free videos, you can siphon through them, and you can find the ones that are for your particular case and map them together. Or you can get your book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, download it immediately. It's 75% off. Just click the TikTok bio, click the Instagram bio, click that website, download your book. All of this is laid out in a very step-by-step way for you so that you don't have to ask questions. I want all of you writing me saying, look at this deal I just got. You can go to deshonesbook.com or scan the QR code. I'm not interested in you getting a car. That's only half of it. If you notice, and I want you to pay attention as y'all get smarter, those of you who are taking the action and saying, Deshone, I'm going to use this. I'm done winging it. It's too much money out here to be winging it. And I'm done spending hours in dealerships. Those of you who are committed to financial success and financial literacy, pay attention when your friends get cars. Pay attention when people you see on Facebook get cars, on social media get cars. They never talk about the price. They have no price confidence. It's sad. They have no price confidence. And if I know there's people who are like, Deshone, I will never send you my car deal because I'm too embarrassed. You know I'm going to rip it because I just have to do that. If I rip it once, then I'll say, and I can tell you, listen, you didn't know, you can never do this again. That's automatic correction for a lot of people. Man, all right, yeah, I lost about 3,000, but nah, let me get back on my game. Next time, I'm gonna make sure I win. I want you all writing me, emailing me, DMing me. Yo, Deshone, check out this car deal. Yo, check out what I just got this used car for. Yo, check out what I just got this lease for. Yo, check out how much the dealer just saved. Yo, check out how much I just sold my old lease for and got my equity. That's the emails I want. I don't even really want to know about the car second. Tell me about the car, but tell me about the deal first. Tell me about the deal first. All right? So get your book. I appreciate all of you. We're going to be doing these lives. We're going to be making sure we are tapping in. I love connecting with everybody on multiple platforms. You might be seeing this on a broadcast because we do plan to syndicate these shows out. I do think that no matter when you're watching these shows, you're still going to get value out of them because, like I said, many people ask the same question that you were going to ask. So even if you were on here for 20, 30 minutes with me and you didn't ask a question, maybe somebody asked the same question because many of you are in the same position. So grab your book, deshonesbook.com, scan the QR code, get your book for 75% off. Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. And get it in my TikTok bio, get it in my Instagram bio, use it, and make sure you tell me your success stories. All right? I'll see you all on the next broadcast. Have a great day.